Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. This afternoon in Atlanta, it is Game 7 of the Regionals, a winner-take-all game with the number 2 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, trying to take out the top seed in the regional and the number 2 national seed, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Here's a look at our bracket as it stands right now. The winner of this will play Kansas. Oklahoma would travel to their former Big 8 rivals, while Georgia Tech would host a super regional for the first time in 20 years. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth at McNeese Baseball Park on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology. With Gabby Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. Well, that game turned quickly yesterday. Trailing 8-2, Oklahoma's offense had a monstrous fourth inning.
It was a big fourth inning for Oklahoma because it looked like everything was down and Georgia Tech was taking control, and they decided nope, and it all started with Brendan Brock hitting a big home run to start it off. Dayton LaChance, a huge grand slam. Trey Gamble said, hey, I'm not done yet. I want to join the home run party himself. How good was that OU offense in that inning? How about they scored 7 runs on 19 pitches before an out was recorded?
I mean, just a huge offensive outburst from a team that was 13th in scoring in the SEC this year. Well, on the flip side, Georgia Tech played well in the first half of the game. The offense struggled in the back half. More than anything, there's pressure on them. They are expected to get to Omaha, and it has been a generation since they've even been in a super regional.
Yeah, a lot of pressure because of the big players that they have and the big bats. And you're right, it did start off good for Georgia Tech, especially in the first couple of innings. And it all started with Drew Burris. Well, guess what? He got his first hit, and it was a loud one. Ryan Zuckerman had a big base hit himself, too, with a 2-run single right up the middle.
But then it was Oklahoma's bullpen that took over. Gavin Jones and L.J. Mercurius shut the door over the final 5 frames to help OU to victory. So it is up to the stars for Georgia Tech. Drew Burris got his first hit in the regional yesterday with that home run you saw. And Vaughn Lackey, the All-ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 2 of the top 10 players in the country, need to carry them today.
Yeah, right now you got to look at the stars, and the stars for Georgia Tech have to get things going for them, especially early on to get that momentum.
There is nothing like a Game 7 in sports, and that applies to regionals too. Can Oklahoma stun the number 2 overall seed, or will Georgia Tech keep their Omaha destiny alive? We'll find out next. Georgia Tech will be the visiting team today, even though this game is being played in Atlanta and they are the higher seed. You see Drew Burress, 59 career home runs, the most in program history.
Yeah, had himself a nice game yesterday's ball game. Got his first hit. It was a big 2-run homer, followed with a couple of singles himself. They're going to need him in this lineup because I tell you what, this OU pitching staff has been really good.
Caleb Daniel getting the start as the DH today in place of Will Baker. He pinch hit yesterday for Georgia Tech. And Michael Catalano will get the start, his first appearance in nearly a month for OU. Thought they might come back to Cam Johnson today. I know he only faced 3 batters yesterday, but he has the big stuff. Catalano, you don't need to be more of a pitch maker, Gabby.
Yeah, when we talked to Skip Johnson, we even asked him the same exact thing. How about bringing back Cam Johnson? He said, you know what, it was a thought, but we wanted to be with Catalano because he's a pitcher that we can trust on the mound. He can mix and match with his pitches against this lineup.
Game 7 of the regional. The first pitch of the ball game to Carson Kearse is a strike, and we are underway. Winner goes to Supers today. Carson Kearse, who has had a terrific season, the shortstop in the leadoff spot. 7 of the 9 guys with OPS is over 1,000 in the Georgia Tech lineup. The count 0-2. The thing that has stood out to this point to me, Gabby, about Oklahoma, as inconsistent as they were on the mound all season, is that they have pounded the strike zone.
They've got big arms, too, and a lot of freshmen who are coming out and doing it big for them in this regional.
0-2 misses. And the count 1-2 to Kearse.
Catalano, he's basically a 5-pitch pitcher. He has a 4-seam fastball, 91 and 94. Will throw a slider, has a curveball, a little bit of a cutter, will throw a changeup.
Breaking ball, pop foul and out of play. Just from watching the video, looking at some of the data, it feels like Catalano's fastball has to be on.
Yeah, it has to be on, and he's asked to be able to spot it. It's a pretty straight fastball out of hand. There's really no movement to it. So if he's able to hit his corners, he does like to stay down and away with that fastball. We've already seen a couple of those here in this at-bat.
The 1-2. Kearse inside the bag at first, down the right field line and into the corner. Carson Kearse on his way to second, and a leadoff double for Georgia Tech at the top of the first.
And if you're Georgia Tech, that's exactly what you wanted out of Carson Kearse. All of a sudden, to get the energy in this crowd going. We talked about the fastball and about it being down in the zone. When it's up, it's very hittable. So you have to be careful if you're Catalano. You have to try to keep that ball down. Kearse does a really nice job of just getting there, getting the barrel to the baseball. And you can see he is pumped.
A little Boogie Nights on us there. That was some Dirk Diggler action.
Kicking the window down or the door down? I'm not sure.
Like he shaped home plate. Here's Drew Burress, the all-time home run leader in Georgia Tech history. First pitch. Takes a breaking ball low. It's 1-0. Georgia Tech's offense historic this year. Best in the land. Led the nation in batting average, on-base, slugging percentage this year, and runs scored. Inside, 2-0. This is in all of Division I. They averaged just under 11 runs per game. They were held to 8 yesterday. If you can hold them under 10, that's your best chance. The pitching was actually better than I think most people anticipated this year, but their offense is real. Burress gets jammed and floats it into center. Jason Walk, the speedy center fielder, coming in to make the catch. And that's the first out. James Ramsey, the head coach for Georgia Tech in his first season. ACC Coach of the Year, former ACC Player of the Year for Mike Martin at Florida State. He was the recruiting coordinator and associate head coach that built this program under the great Danny Hall, who retired after last year. These are his players, even though it is his first year as a head coach, including this one, the transfer from Cal, Jaron Advincula. ACC batting champion takes a strike. When the Stars are at the plate for Georgia Tech, it is golf course quiet in here. And it has been a pretty raucous crowd at other times, but it is amazing how much it's like watching a tennis match or a golf match. And Danny Hall has had a big smile on his face the entire weekend. He is so proud of this.
It's almost like watching a football game when the home team has the football, and all of a sudden the crowd just is very quiet so the plays can be called. But when it's on the flip side, this crowd gets real loud and excited.
Sellout crowd this afternoon. Despite the 3 p.m. start, there are very few empty seats right now. It is warm and sunny. It's the first time we've seen the sun in 3 days here in Atlanta. The 2-1. Flat through the left side. It's a base hit. Kearse being waved to third and stopped. It looked like James Ramsey was trying to send him home, and Kearse stopped at third, Gabby.
I was because it didn't look like Kearse had a very good secondary at second either. He didn't take off right away. Ramsey was sending him the whole way. This ball hits, and almost like he stops, and then he starts to run again, and then he's looking, and then he decides to stop with Ramsey going. As a base runner, I like that he's picking it up, but you got to look at your third base coach and realize if he's sending you, you got to be going secondary too. You take your big secondary, you see where that defense is, you would have been able to have a better jump and be able to score on that.
Brendan Brock, the left fielder for Oklahoma, is actually a catcher by trade and has a better caught stealing percentage than their regular catcher, Dayton LeChance. So I wonder if that was in Kearse's mind from the pregame scouting report. Vaughn Lackey hits. Swing and a miss to the top 5 draft prospect for July. It's 0-1. The catcher, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, has had a monster offensive season as well. The 0-1 takes high and away, and the count 1-1.
Yeah, Lackey in yesterday's ball game was quiet. Didn't really do much. He did get on base twice. He walked and got hit by a pitch. But he's one of those guys where all of a sudden when he hits a baseball, it's going to go a long way. And right now they're going to need him with man on first and third to do something special, because we saw what happens with this OU pitching staff. They can quiet a very good offense very quickly.
1-1 the count to Lackey. Kearse dancing down the line at third. The pitch. 2-1. This feels just like a huge moment for Georgia Tech. They had the lead big early yesterday, 8-2 before losing. But, that kid would like to see Drew Burris have the chains flapping to the breeze today.
That's a cool shirt.
2-1. Lackey fouls it away, 2-2. This is the pair of home runs he hit in regional. I mean, watch this one. Yeah, that was
I think
gone.
He knew it. And then this one, he definitely knew it.
456 on the first, 468 on the second. Those are the 2 longest home runs of the year for Georgia Tech. 2-2. Bouncer to short, that could be 2. Willits gives ground to second for 1. The relay to first, in time to get Lackey. A 6-4-3 double play, and Catalano gets out of the first. Georgia Tech had him at the corners with 1 out, but Catalano gets him to roll it up.
Yeah, really nice job by Willits playing it back, getting it over to Branch, to Taki to finish the double play.
No score, bottom of the first. The Oklahoma Sooners had their best offensive day of the year yesterday. Brendan Brock, boy, his tools are loud. And the fact that that athlete can catch too. Really fun name to keep an eye on in July.
He showed off the power in yesterday's ball game. 2 home run day really propelled OU in that ball game.
Jump starter there, 8-run fourth inning that led to the comeback victory. Down 8-2 at the point. Carson Ballard is going to make the start for Georgia Tech. He started the opener against UIC in this regional, but threw just 59 pitches in 4 innings, and so they bring him back. Gabby, Ballard has a lot of pitches that he throws for strikes. The biggest thing is, how is Georgia Tech going to piece this together? Because they have not used their relief ace, Mason Patel, at all in this regional.
Yeah, you're going to see Mason Patel here at some point in this ball game. For me, it's going to be how long Ballard can go. You talked about it. Throws a lot of strikes. He's only walked 16 guys in 45 2/3 innings of work. So he's going to be around the strike zone. Remember, too, this OU offense, they're chaotic. They're going to go out there. It's going to be a lot of bunts. They're trying to get on base. They're trying to steal. Ballard is going to have to do a good job of making his pitches and making sure that he's able to control the running game.
Jason Walk, the speedster, will lead things off for OU. First pitch to the switch hitter. Squares the bunt and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Walk had a home run in OU's win over the Citadel to put them in the regional final. Leadoff homer in that game. He takes a strike. It's 0-2. OU played 4 games in the span of 36 hours. They won 3 of them just to get to this point. Here's the 0-2. And a roller to the right side. Glove by Schmidt. He'll have to take it to the bag himself and gets there in time to retire a walk. 1 out. Oklahoma led by the great Skip Johnson in his 9th year as the head coach of the Sooners. He's the national runner-up in 2022 when they lost to Ole Miss. Longtime pitching coach, the great Augie Garrido at Texas. Head coach at Navarro Junior College, one of the great pitching minds in baseball. Skip uses the data, but his entire mind is a database. Camden Johnson hooks one down the right field line in the corner, and it's a foul ball. A foul ball off the bat of Camden Johnson. And it's 0-1. And we welcome you to the McNeese Baseball Park in Atlanta, Georgia, on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology for this Game 7. We thank those of you who have been watching. St. John's advance to their first Super Regional since 2012 by defeating Florida State today. Here, the number 2 overall seed, Georgia Tech, is trying to get to their first Super in 20 years, and the Oklahoma Sooners yesterday, with a big comeback down 8-2, beat them 15-8 to force this Game 7. Gabby Sanchez, Mike Farron with you. Gabby, it was an incredible game up until OU extended things in the 8th inning last night.
It was something that we've been waiting for because we always hear about this OU chaotic kind of style of offense, and we finally saw it in that 4th inning. They also used the long ball, hitting 3 home runs in that 4th to put up 8 runs in that ball game.
The 2-2 to Camden Johnson, the third baseman to the left side. That's the third baseman, Ryan Zuckerman, and a rare miscue for one of the top defenders in the conference and in the country. An error on Zuckerman. Here's what happened in the 4th inning. Down 8-2 to Georgia Tech. Brendan Brock started with a home run, and then Dayton LaChance is the one who had the big blow.
Yeah, big blows, a grand slam, opposite way. Trey Gamble, well, he decided to join the home run party, hitting one on his own. It was so good that they scored 7 runs on 19 pitches before even recording an out.
An 8-run inning. It was still a close game till Oklahoma tacked down a run in the 7th, and then 4 more in the 8th inning to put things away. You see what they did. The second most runs they've scored in an inning this season, and the most runs that Georgia Tech had allowed in any inning. Skip Johnson's club forced this Game 7. Now, Oklahoma is the home team in this one, even though we are playing at Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is the number 2 national seed. The infielders to the left for the slugging catcher. The transfer from McLennan in Texas, Dayton LaChance, the Quebec native. You saw his grand slam that gave Oklahoma the lead in the fourth inning yesterday. He leads them in home runs. He is strong.
He is a big boy, and he likes to swing the bat. He is not waiting around.
Down low, the count 1-1 to LaChance. Carson Ballard getting the start for Georgia Tech. He started the regional opener against UIC. 4 innings against the Flames, just 59 pitches. Gabby, the hope is that he can get once through the order at least. Toss to first, the runner back.
Yeah, that's the hope that they're saying. They try to get one time through the lineup, but you also know that James Ramsey, if all of a sudden Ballard is throwing the ball well, he's throwing a lot of strikes, he's able to keep the pitch count down, that he will go then batter to batter after one time through.
The 1-1. LaChance in the air to deep left center field. Going back on it is Brocious, and it's going to be a home run. Dayton LaChance with a 2-run homer, and OU has the lead in the first. It's 2-0.
Boy, Dayton LaChance with his 14th home run of the season did not miss any bit of that fastball. This is exactly what OU wanted. Get on the board quick. It's a fastball. It's coming back into the barrel. It left the bat at 110 miles an hour, goes 443 feet.
2-0 Oklahoma, and Jackson Willits, the shortstop, bats. You see what Oklahoma did in the regular season. 10 home runs. This is the third time that they've played Georgia Tech. 7 of them are against the Yellow Jackets. James Ramsey club is going to have to come from behind today. Jackson Willits, the junior shortstop, waits, and he lines that one into center field, and it'll get down for a base hit. And the hit parade continuing for Oklahoma here in the first inning. You know, ahead of that LaChance homer, Gabby, a rare error by Ryan Zuckerman, the third baseman, having to play over in the shortstop position.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Carson Ballard has to be able to kind of wipe that from his mind. There's some pitchers that go out there and you make an error behind them, and all of a sudden they try to maybe do a little bit too much. Their balls aren't moving. Ballard is known for that sinker. He has a good one. He has a cutter. He's got to be able to move those balls around.
Check swing by Trey Gamble and fouled away. It's 0-1. Gamble, a pair of homers in this regional, including one yesterday. 25-year-old DH transfer from Salt Lake Community College a year ago. Outside, 1-1. Let's go back and look at that error, Gabby. What do you see with this?
You know what? I just think he missed it. He was coming in exactly how he was supposed to. That ball's coming up, and he just whiffed at it. He did everything he was supposed to. I don't think he needed to really rush that much for it. Even though Cam Johnson can get down that line, he could have just kind of gotten that with 2 hands rather than reaching with 1. But I don't think it was anything other than he just missed the ball.
And Zuckerman is a high school shortstop, despite the fact that he was 6'4". And the transfer from Pitt this year worked very hard to become an exceptional defender, and he made 2 outstanding plays yesterday. He's been among the nation's leaders in defensive runs saved at third base this year. 2-2. The 2-2. Lined into right field. It's another base hit. Willits will stop at second. And Oklahoma putting together a big rally here in the first.
And right now, Oklahoma is just all over Ballard. Every single one of these pitches are left either middle or up. He has to be able to get these pitches down because Oklahoma is not missing any barrels at this moment.
Brendan Brock, a pair of home runs yesterday in the Game 6 win. Bouncer foul, it's 0-1. Ballard is not a big ground ball guy in general, and especially not against righties. Of course, then again, Catalano wasn't either.
Right.
He gave a ridiculous amount of fly balls to right-handers during the season. He got a huge double play to get out of the first for Oklahoma.
He's able to get righties to hit the ball on the ground when he's throwing the sinker into him.
And he does here. The short. Advincula to first, not in time. Just too far to go, I think, on the throw from Kearse, and Advincula couldn't get much on it on the pivot.
Not only that either, Brock can move it down that first base line. Here's the ground ball to Kearse. Does a nice job of getting there and getting it out of his glove quickly. Advincula gets it out, throws over to first, but to me, this is just, Brendan Brock is just really fast getting down that line. He might be a catcher, but he's athletic enough to play left field. He can play catcher. He can fly around those bases.
It's a good point. He does have 26 stolen bases on the year, 29 attempts. Desan Harris can also fly. He fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
That's one of the things that we've seen with this OU offense. Every single one of these guys can pick them up and put them down that first base line.
The ground ball was hit 100 miles an hour short. It was hit hard. 0-1 to Harris. The speedster waits and takes outside. Count 1-1. Desan Harris had a huge base running play in the 8-run fourth inning we've been talking about on an infield single. Off the bat of Dayton Taki, the ball, nobody was covering third base with an overshift on, and he raced to the bag. And that was one of those moments where it felt like the momentum was really building for Oklahoma, and they kept capitalizing and capitalizing all inning long.
Well, it kind of looked like what we're seeing in this inning, where every single ball was just hit well. They were stinging baseballs, not swinging outside of the zone, using their speed.
Down and in, the count 3-1 to Harris. Turning into a long first inning for Ballard already at 25 pitches. Back through the middle, a base hit for Harris. Willett scores. It's 3-0 OU in the first. And there is a restlessness in this crowd here in Atlanta.
I'm surprised right now that Georgia Tech doesn't have anybody warming up, because for me, just Ballard, just really his pitches aren't moving like we're used to seeing. All these pitches are being left up, and right now, Oklahoma, they're feeling it. They're hot. Everybody in that lineup is wanting to get a bat, and this is really smart here by Matt Taylor to go out, one, to stop momentum, right? And then to go talk to your pitcher and see what's going on and give him a little bit of a breather.
Matt Taylor, hired last year as a pitching coach for Georgia Tech. He has been a big difference maker for their pitching staff. Came out of the Braves organization and then at Georgia State before coming here. He is a really bright, data-driven pitching mind. It is just starting to get very tense there. There's a look at the Georgia Tech bullpen. It is empty, so Ballard's going to have to work through this.
And you just have to think at what point, right? Because you need to start getting somebody up, because right now when you're looking at what Ballard is doing, you know, velocity is not typically where we're seeing it at. The fastball 92, that one's okay. You know, that's tops out at 93, could be even at 94. But even the cutter is not where he wants it to be.
Here's what Super Regional looks like right now. We have a bunch of Game 7s today. See St. John's that just moments ago knocked out Florida State. Knocking off a national seed. The winner of this gets Kansas. UCLA, the #1 overall seed, knocked out by Cal Poly. West Virginia forcing a Game 7 against Kentucky tonight in Morgantown. They would host that Super Regional if they're able to win. Boy, did you see the end of that game at all? Kentucky balked home the tying run in a 4-run ninth inning for West Virginia.
I did not. I did see the clips, but I didn't see the game live.
Well, I know you didn't see it live. We were working. We were a little busy.
But I did see the clip.
3-0 the count to Dayton Taki. The first baseman for OU waits. Sorry, 2-0 the count. Now it's 2-1. Here's Dayton Taki's mom. He's brought back out some of the personalized shirts. Here's Gilpin. She's one of the big stars of this regional. She's got a lot of response from home. She's been into every pitch. I can't believe she's sitting down.
She's usually pacing right above the dugout, but she's feeling comfortable right now.
Must be a 3-run first that did it. Taki bounces it foul. This could be Dayton's final games as a baseball player, so she is living every moment of it. And now the fans getting to the feet, trying to encourage Ballard to get through this lengthy first inning. Three and two, the pitch. Taki pops it up. Left field, Parker Brocious coming in, and he will make the catch, and the inning is over. But a 3-spot for Oklahoma in the first, including this blast. Viva La Chance! Dayton La Chance with a 2-run shot. It's 3-0 Sooners. First inning, Georgia Tech threatening. And watch this. Gabby, James Ramsey trying to send Carson Kearse, but he shut it down.
Well, here's the thing, too. Carson Kearse knows that he didn't get a big jump, so he couldn't go. And what did that lead to? Where Von Lackey's coming up in that situation, you're thinking everything's going to be fine. Ends up hitting to a 6-4-3 double play.
And then Oklahoma, 3-spot in the first as Ryan Zuckerman's error helped that. The leading home run hitter for Georgia Tech fouls the first one away. Here's the 0-1. Fouled away. And the count another good 2. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs, the count 1-2. And Zuckerman lines it just foul down the left field line. Nearly a double for the third baseman.
How close is it? Ooh. Not very far away from being a double down that left field line. Now for me, this is a huge one for Catalano. needs to have that shutdown inning for OU. For Georgia Tech, it's another big inning for them too, because it's almost like, hey, we got to get something going. Because when you kind of look at it for Georgia Tech, from the 4th inning on, they didn't have really that offense going. And then all of a sudden in that 1st inning, looked like they were starting to get something going, and a double play got them out of it.
It just feels like right now all the breaks are going Oklahoma's way. Zuckerman fouls it away. And we saw that, right? They struggled with men in scoring position over the first 2 games. Yesterday they had a big day offensively, right? The pitching was very good. And you keep riding those breaks as long as you can. When it flips, if it flips, it tends to flip hard. And that's kind of what happened to Georgia Tech yesterday. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Zuckerman down on strikes. And the first strikeout for Catalano. That'll bring up Alex Hernandez, who has had a huge regional for Georgia Tech so far. This yesterday, his 4th home run of the regionals. He has knocked in 13 runs.
Crazy to think too, because in the basically middle part of the season on, his numbers were going down. Got into regional, and all of a sudden, boy, he has picked it up.
First pitch misses low to Hernandez. It's 1-0. Yes, he has been really stinging the ball all over this regional. I mean, even Buzz put his hands on that one. I don't believe him. Here's the 1-0. A strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Every pitch that Catalano's landing in the zone, it seems like his confidence is growing too.
I mean, that's going to happen too when all of a sudden your offense is putting up the numbers that they've been putting up the last couple days. Scoring 3 runs in the first, you know that you just got to go out there and make sure that you're not just giving up free passes.
On the ground is second. Kyle Branch will gobble it up and throw to first, 2 outs. ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. For around-the-clock multi-game coverage, you can scan the QR code on the screen. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play, the best way to watch regionals, including the regional finals today. Chris Button on the desk now. Matt Schick will be in with Mike Rooney and Chris Burke this evening, as we have a very, very busy Monday. First pitch misses low to Kent Schmidt. Last year's ACC batting champion, transfer from Georgia Southern. This time early this year. Yesterday, flied out to the warning track and left twice. They were both good swings, and Schmidt feels like a guy maybe getting close to locking in. Down low, 2-0. Somebody at the bottom part of this lineup is going to have to for Georgia Tech.
I mean, that's what we've been seeing all season long. That it doesn't matter where they are in the lineup, they're able to beat you. They're able to put the ball over the fence. And Schmidt in yesterday's ball game, you talked about it. He had a couple balls out about 98, 99 miles an hour, opposite way. Just didn't have enough, but you could see that the swing is there, and he is just a tick off right now, trying to get right back on it.
2-1 the count. The pitch on the ground into the shift. Shallow right. Kyle Branch has it again, and a 1-2-3 inning for Catalano through 1.5. Oklahoma leading Georgia Tech 3-0. NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? McNeese Baseball Park in Atlanta, OU with a 3-0 lead as they come to bat in the bottom of the second, and already out of the pen after an inning for Georgia Tech, their relief ace, Mason Patel. One of the best relief pitchers in the country over the last 2 seasons.
Just really good at being able to move the ball around. An excellent changeup. But what he does best is just basically attacks hitters, and he attacks the corners. So that's what I can expect out of him. And there's a reason why they're bringing him in. For me, just Ballard today didn't have it, and that happens sometimes when you're a pitcher. You come out, you have thrown a couple days ago, your stuff is not going to be as sharp. And this is what I'm talking about too with Ballard. Look where all these pitches are. Everything, that one not too bad, but these right here, middle of the plate, elevated up, good hitting pitches. That one again, elevated up. Those are the pitches that he wants to get work down in the zone, but he was just leaving them over the heart of the plate. And when you do that against a very good hot hitting team, because right now that's exactly what Oklahoma is. They are hot. They're hitting everything hard. You make mistakes over the heart of the plate, they are crushing baseballs.
Now, Patel is stretched out. He could probably give them 4 innings or so, Gabby. I mean, this is an aggressive move early in the game. Yeah. They need to get zeros.
They need to get zeros. That's exactly what it is. And I guarantee you that James Ramsey's looking at it going, okay, what's our best chance here? We're going to have to go with Patel.
First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. Patel transferred from Georgia State last year, was the best reliever in the ACC all season. At the midway point, it looked like he might win the ACC Pitcher of the Year last year. He started in the rotation this season, struggled a little bit, and some arm tenderness, and then back at the pen, he has been his old self. The 0-1 to Branch, outside, 1-1. Here's a look at the numbers on Patel. 5 earned runs, and 3 of those were against Virginia in 1 game in the ACC tournament, so he has been very, very good overall. The 1-1 to Branch, fouled to the plate, the count 1-2. Patel came with Matt Taylor from Georgia State, the pitching coach for Georgia Tech. This is the first player he ever called as a recruit 7 years ago. He has a very special relationship with Patel. You see Matt Taylor there. And when he got the job here, he called Patel right away when Patel got in the portal and offered him an opportunity. And he gets a strikeout of Kyle Branch to start the second.
And this is Patel's pitch. It's the changeup. We talked about it. It's a really good one. It works from side to side. It's got some good downward depth to it.
Those two, originally Matt Taylor recruited Mason Patel by driving 3 hours on a Monday off day to come see him throw a bullpen. He was at high school at Knoxville. Fly ball to left. Brocious got turned around and now squares up to make the catch. 2 quick outs here in the second. And this is his superpower, I feel like, Gabby, for Patel, is he's calm. There's like, he can give up a fly ball to the warning track, and it's like, no problem, I got the next guy.
It's that just calm demeanor, right? And it doesn't matter. He could give up a home run, and he's just like, give me the ball. That happens. It's baseball. And that's the thought process that he has, and which is one of the biggest reasons why he's done so well in his career.
2 outs for Camden Johnson. Johnson reached on the error in the first inning that helped open the door for a 3-run OU frame. As the speedy third baseman takes a strike, it's 0-1.
Talked about Patel, too, just going right after hitters. He's a painter, man, just paints corners from side to side, has that really good changeup that gets a lot of swing and miss.
Bouncer foul. It used to be guys like that through 84, 85 miles an hour in college. Now it's 90, 91, right?
Those used to be like Saturday and Sunday starters. You know, guys who threw 91. Now those Saturday and Sunday starters are in the 4s and 5s.
He's brought some life to this crowd as he gets ahead of Johnson 0-2. Misses with a breaking ball. Here comes the 1-2 to Johnson. Called strike 3, inning over. Mason Patel perfect in the second to the third. It's 3-0 Oklahoma, winner to Super Regionals. They advance to Super Regionals, defeating Liberty. They will take on Mississippi State. Not far from here in Athens. Their shortstop is Colby Branch, brother of Kyle Branch, the starting second baseman for OU. And the sophomore's family is here. There's his brother, fresh off their regional win, and there's his mom, Carrie, having a conversation. So the Branches have been going back and forth between Atlanta and Athens. Carrie and Rusty Branch, they have an apartment in Athens that they have rented for the year. They've been traveling back and forth watching both of the boys play. You see Trey Phelps with the sunglasses on, the Georgia Star, who came with his teammate to watch a little Super Regional baseball today.
The biggest chain I've ever seen on a human being. Does he play with that in the game?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he does play with chains.
Impressive.
Trey Phelps is just an absolute joy to be around. Like, he is the biggest personality. I know he has rubbed some opponents the wrong way over the years. He got ejected yesterday, a controversial move, but really loves baseball. I mean, he was a guy that played a ton of baseball growing up. But anyway, the Branches have been going back and forth, and they had a plan that they had set out to try and make sure they could see both boys play. And it worked out with OU winning yesterday, as Brocious fouls it down, that they could be here for Game 7 of Regional, hoping to send two sons to Supers.
That would really be tough.
Well, here's the real challenge for them. Their third oldest, Carson, made it to the Texas State Finals this weekend in baseball. And I had asked Rusty, are you guys planning to go back? And he said, well, let's put it this way. If the Texas State champions are going to play the international champions in Omaha, then we would go. But next weekend, we are going to be wherever we feel like has the best chance to get us to Omaha. So I think there's a good chance that they'll be back at Athens. And who knows, maybe they'll split up. If OU advances, they can go to Lawrence and take on Kansas. Trey Phelps will not play in Game 1 of that Super Regional after the ejection yesterday. But
I saw that one too.
What'd you think about that?
To be honest with you, I feel like you got to let the kids be kids and play and have fun. I don't think he was doing anything mean. He was pointing to his family.
Yeah, but the Liberty players thought he was pointing at that.
I get it, but for me, an umpire, you kind of have to look at the moment and see what's going on. And I feel like, unfortunate for him, he ends up getting thrown out and he's going to have to miss the Super game.
Wes Johnson, his head coach, also ejected. I felt the same way you did. I think that listen, I was in Athens last year with most of our crew, and there was some heatedness after Georgia hit home runs. They play with a flair and I would say a confidence, right, that involves bat flipping and a lot of dancing around the bases. And Phelps' home run trot yesterday was pretty great.
He was doing something at every base.
He all but cartwheeled home. Down low, the count goes full to Parker Brocious. But I agree with you. I think it's like yesterday we saw a great example of it, right? Brian Marine, the home plate umpire, had a chance to throw Trey Gamble out of the game after an argument, but he held back and he let the players play, and I think he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Big at bat here for Brocious to start the third with Georgia Tech down 3-0. And Parker Brocious, who's been one of the big stars of the postseason for Georgia Tech, draws a leadoff walk. The NCAA Super Regional coverage continues Friday across ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Caleb Daniel gets his first start of the postseason today. Appeared as a pinch hitter yesterday. The sophomore in the lineup in place of Will Baker. Pitch outside, 1-0. Georgia Tech has had trouble cashing in leadoff walks of late. The 1-0. A strike, it's 1-1. Wow, that is incredible. Just 7 innings without a run. That's their longest streak of the season.
Hey, that just goes to show how good this offense has been, and it really goes to show how good this Oklahoma pitching staff has been.
Down to short. Willits will take it to the bag for one on to first to double play. But for a guy that does not get a ton of ground balls, Catalano has gotten a pair of huge ones, much to the delight of Kyle Branch's mom. 2 outs.
Yeah, it really doesn't get that many ground balls except for the slider. This is the fastball. Really, that ball just beats Daniels to the spot. He jams him. Easy ground ball over to Willits. Says, I'll take it myself to second and throw over to Taki.
2 outs, nobody on for Carson Kearse. Kearse led off the game with a double and was stranded at third. So that's now 5 times in a row that Georgia Tech has had a leadoff walk in an inning, and they've failed to score them. Down low to Kearse, 2-0. Second time through the order here. And you mentioned that before, Gabby, is something that you were really going to focus on and what kind of adjustments you want to see these Georgia Tech hitters make.
And you see this Georgia Tech offense make a lot of adjustments, especially second time through. A lot of talking with one another in the dugout. And even during at-bats, they'll kind of turn to each other, let them know exactly what it is that they're seeing in the dugout. Constantly talking about just, hey, this is what he has, this is what he's doing to me, what is he doing to you, this is how the fastball is moving. So it's going to be interesting to see how Catalano goes after them second time through.
Inside, nearly hit Kearse, and a 2-out walk, and it'll bring up Burris. Second walk of the inning for Catalano and a mound conference. Stating the chance will gather everybody. The catcher, whose 2-run homer gave Oklahoma the lead in the first. Drew Burris had his first hit of the regional yesterday, a 2-run shot to left. He's got a lot of fans here in the stands. The captain of this team. No one has hit more home runs in Georgia Tech history. They could use some sort of spark offensively. They're the best 2-strike hitting team in the country. They've been the best at knocking in runs with 2 outs. Burris takes the ball low, 1-0.
One of the things that Burris has done here in this regional too is very good patience at the plate. He's going to swing hard. If he gets a pitch that he feels like he can handle, he's going to be swinging hard at it, but he hasn't been swinging out of the zone.
Swing and a miss. There he swung hard. The count 1-1.
Boy, I wish we had the bat speed on this thing. because he swings hard.
I would say the bat speed is good.
It's very good.
I think to your point, though, more walks than strikeouts for the power hitter this year. And he swings and hits one high in the air to center field. Jason Walk going back. He's looking up. That ball is gone. Career homer number 60 for Drew Burress, and it's a one-run game.
He hit that ball so hard and so high and so far. That ball left the bat at 113 miles an hour, 418 feet.
First pitch to Advincula, and he lines that down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. Harris over to cut it off. Advincula going for two. He's in there with a double.
And this is how it goes for the Georgia Tech offense. Waiting for one big hit, looking for their big stud to do it, and boy, he delivered. And after that, it's just getting going. But we're going to take a look at this home run because of how hard and how high he hit it. Walk thought it was straight away. I want you to look at the flags, too, of where they're blowing to right field. Look where Walk is. He's over here at center field. He loses it completely. That ball actually ended up in right center field. That's how high it was, and that wind just kept on pushing it for the home run.
Yeah, between the light tower and that green stanchion that you saw in that shot to the right of the batter's eye.
But
Skip Johnson heading out.
That's what happens, though, with this Georgia Tech offense. It's like they're looking for that one big hit, and then all of a sudden, everybody starts to calm down just a little bit more, and they start playing their style of baseball. But here's the home run. We said, when he swings the bat, he is trying to create damage. It is hard. He wants to get the ball in the air. That's what he's looking for.
The reaction of Nathaniel Coupe, number 19 there with like, oh my goodness. And then Advincula with the double into the right field corner.
And it was quick too, not waiting around. Get a good pitch to hit, make sure you hit, and not only that, a hustle double.
We talked to James Ramsey about their two-out offense in Charlotte during the ACC tournament. And he said he has been proud of them starting these two-out, nobody-on rallies that have led to big innings. And here's Lackey. A double play in the first as he takes a ball low, 1-0. Action in the bullpen for OU. Tying run at second, 2 outs in the third. Good breaking ball, 1-1. Right-hander tossing. Jason Bowden, hard-throwing, low slot guy. Saw him against Georgia Tech in the 1-0 game. The 1-1. Ripped on the ground. Nice play by Johnson, who tries to run it at Advincula, and he got him. Ramsey trying to decide if he wants to challenge. A bit of a tough break, and is Advincula okay? It appears he is. What do you got on this, Kevin?
I got Cam Johnson somehow making a play here. He was going to come up, but he's just so athletic. That's very close, but he got him out.
3-2 OU as we head to the bottom of the third. victory. You seemed very proud of them.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, you persevered through 36 innings and 36 hours, and it shows your toughness, and just keep going.
Your offense has continued it again here today. What are you guys talking about in there, and what do you want to see out of them?
Just trying to see the ball up and get good pitches to hit. I mean, last time I looked, Ted Williams said get a good pitch to hit.
He was pretty good at that.
Yeah, he was.
Skip, best of luck today. Great to
Thanks.
see you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Skip Johnson, the head coach of Oklahoma. I mean, if you're going to follow anybody, you're going to follow Ted Williams, right? He wrote the art of hitting.
Get a good pitch to hit, you're going to be good.
I mean, you did a great job breaking that down in the first inning. They got those pitches, but Patel has been more on the corners. Yeah. So as LaChance, who hit a 2-run home run to give Oklahoma the lead in the first, takes ball one.
Well, I mean, he said it right there, right? Skip Johnson said, got to get these pitches up. Why? Because Patel makes his living at being down in the zone. If he's getting those pitches called, it's going to be tough.
Mason Patel, the relief ace for Georgia Tech into the game. Last inning, misses away. It's 2-0. Here's how Oklahoma got the scoring started.
Wow, that ball was launched. That is a big man with a bat, and boy, when he makes contact, it can go a long way.
Chance ahead 2-0. And he rolls into the shift. Carson Kearse, the shortstop, will throw him out. Leadoff man gone in the third for OU. All right, so we heard from Skip Johnson get the ball up, right? And there were a lot of pitches over the middle of the plate in the first. Mason Patel is a guy that dots the corners. So take me inside a hitter's mindset for when you have a guy who has command like that and what the give and take is that you're looking for.
Well, at that point now you have to basically give a side of the play, right? So it's either you're going to give in or you're going to give away. Against Patel, for me, any hitter, I'm going to look to attack away and I'm going to give him in. Then you're going to have to really think about getting underneath those pitches, especially if they're being called, right? If they're not being called, if Derek Mollick behind home plate is not calling those pitches, then you're fine. Then you're just saying, hey, I'm going to raise it up. But if he's getting those pitches called at the bottom of the zone, now you have to make that adjustment as a hitter. So first I'm going to go up there and say, okay, is he calling them? If he is, okay, I have to make an adjustment now. I have to try to think about trying to get underneath these balls to be able to get them in the air.
Jackson Willits behind 0-2. Goes down on strikes. Patel set down all 5 that he's faced so far, 2 outs.
And this is the thing with Patel. I mean, he can go side to side. It's the changeup again. The changeup is his pitch. It's good. A lot of movement to it. He can throw it in. He can throw it away. He has a lot of control. He does have a fastball that's 91, 92. So think it's a 10-mile-an-hour difference between the fastball and the changeup.
Trey Gamble hits, swings, and misses a changeup there. It's 0-1. Actually, that may have been a breaking ball now that I think of it. It's
yeah, he'll throw
like a little cutter or a slider?
Yeah, he'll throw a slider to lefties.
Gamble in the air to left center field, going back on it at Burris. He's got plenty of room shy of the track. Mason Patel has settled things down for Georgia Tech. He's set down 6 in a row. Oklahoma leads 3-2 in this winner-take-all regional final.
The celebration is on.
A week from Friday, the Men's College World Series gets underway at Omaha. Game 7's today. Troy pounded Florida yesterday to force a Game 7 in Gainesville. Kentucky, West Virginia, that's going to be a must-view later tonight. As is USC and Texas A&M. First pitch to Ryan Zuckerman. Jason Bowden is down low, ball 1-0. A new pitcher for OU. Michael Catalano went 3 innings. First time through was pretty good.
Yep. We talk about it too, the adjustments that Georgia Tech is able to make.
Ryan Zuckerman off the end of the bat to first. Dave Pataki taking the bag himself for first down. Here's the line for Catalano. 3 innings, 2 runs allowed. The guy who was the midweek starter for a good chunk of the year and hadn't appeared in a month. He keeps him in the game, and I have to think Oklahoma is going to constantly. Nobody is probably going to face the same pitcher twice if this game is closed from here on out.
Yeah, I think for Skip Johnson, he kind of started to realize, okay, they're figuring something out here. We're going to go to the bullpen, and they have great arms out of that bullpen. Bowden is one of them. It's a hard, low slot righty, good fastball, 93 to 96. It's a sinker, so it's going to sink into righties. He'll throw a slider off of that same tunnel, so he's working both sides of the plate with those 2 pitches.
Inside of the ball, the count 1-1 to Alex Hernandez. Right fielder grounded to second his first trip. 13 RBIs in this regional and 4 home runs for last year's ACC Freshman of the Year. Inside, 2-1. He impressed with his arm strength. Former two-way player. I guess he's still technically listed as a two-way, but he threw a man out of the plate yesterday. BB?
He showed off the cannon. People stopped running on him is what it was. Even OU runners who can fly were like, all right, maybe we should calm down when the ball gets hit out there to right.
Hernandez using one of their timeouts after that one. Maybe a touch high.
I understand you didn't like it. The guy's throwing 94, 95 miles an hour top of the zone. I don't think it was that bad of a pitch.
Yeah. James Ramsey giving encouragement to Hernandez. Probably a good use of a timeout there by Hernandez because you don't want to take yourself out of this at bat,
right?
Do you?
And that's the thing that it looks like, where he's even saying like that pitch was up, and I love that James Ramsey was like, okay, then fine, it was up, but let's go. Got to move on, right? It was one pitch, and you can't let one pitch ruin your at bat.
That's the tension of a day like today, where everything is on a razor's edge.
And if I'm Bowden, I'm throwing the same pitch up there.
Just missed there, and the count goes full.
I would have thrown that fastball right back in that same exact spot.
Well, he certainly got him leaning out over the plate to be able to do that. After the breaking ball here, 3-2 the count to Hernandez. Bouncer to third. Camden Johnson will throw him out, 2 outs. Kent Schmidt will hit. First baseman grounded to second his first trip. Oklahoma with 3 in the first, holding the lead over Georgia Tech here in the top of the 4th, the winner of Super Regionals. Pitch outside, it's 1-0. I'm not sure that I've ever heard another baseball park as intensely quiet as this one gets on every pitch. Like this feels like home run race stuff, like when Judge was chasing 60, or like McGuire Sosa when there's a hush.
He's trying to build up that excitement. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how all of a sudden when Georgia Tech is hitting, I mean, this place is packed. Standing room only. Everybody's into this ball game.
Bouncer to the right side and right to Kyle Branch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Bowden. We will talk to James Ramsey, the head coach of Georgia Tech, next. It's 3-2 Oklahoma at the bottom of the fourth. Tech 3-2. We're joined now by James Ramsey, the head coach of the Yellow Jackets. And James, you had a good conference there with Alex Hernandez when he took the timeout. What was the message to him in that?
Yeah, just one pitch at a time. I think that's the thing is when you got guys that are running it east-west and balls clip the zone and, you just feel like you need a little bit of a reset in this pitch clock era. I think, he just needed a little bit of a reset, got back in the at-bat. I think that's what it's all about for us is just continuing to stay one pitch at a time on both sides of the ball.
James, you have Mason Patel out there. Probably didn't want to bring him in that early, but what can we expect out of him? Is it going to be just go until he can't?
Yeah, he's going to go all the way, man. I think, if he goes the rest of the game, I wouldn't be shocked. If we got to go to get somebody else, we trust the guys that are down there as well.
James, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this afternoon.
Appreciate it, guys. Go Jackets.
Game 7 of the regional. We were talking to him in the break a little bit about the intensity on the field. And he's like, yeah, man, I feel like it's good. That's the fun part, right, is the intense part of competition. Yep. Brendan Brock will lead things off against Mason Patel. First pitch. This is 1-0. Georgia Tech has not been out of a regional since 2006. That was their last Omaha appearance. I have to think that there's a fair amount of pressure on this team right now.
Oh. An immense amount of pressure on this team. And that's the thing, too, when you have a team that basically the whole entire year has led every single D1 team in offensive categories all over the place with power, and you see it, and they have two guys in their lineup that are potential top 10 picks in the MLB draft. They have other guys that are probably going to be first-rounders themselves. The pressure is there. It's just, what are you going to do with it? How are you able to use that pressure to excel?
Hot shot to first, gloved by Schmidt. He'll take it to the bag. One out. That'll bring up Desan Harris. Patel set down all 7 that he's faced. Drew Burris has Georgia Tech back in this game. The 2-run homer, Von Lackey. Hitless so far today. We talked about the Stars at the outset. They need to perform. So far, one of them has come up with a big hit for Georgia Tech to get some life back into this crowd. Tamper foul, it's 0-1. Harris has been a really impressive player in this regional, hasn't he?
It's fun to see a guy that can run, but then also has a little bit of pop in that bat, too.
And a bunt, and Lackey, what a play defensively, 2 outs. Oh my goodness, the way he sprung out of that crouch, that was incredible.
They talk about athleticism, well, here it is. This is one of the reasons why he probably will be in that top 5 pick, able to go out there like a cat, quickly getting that ball in fair territory and getting over to first, because we talked about Harris, he can absolutely fly. But look how he's able to get that ball, quickly get it over to first.
There was one knee down, and he gets up like that. I mean, Jeez.
And not only that, too, as he's catching that ball, bringing it into like fair territory to show that's a fair ball.
I mean, listen, Georgia Tech's people will tell you he might be our best shortstop, so just a special talent. The 0-1 to Dayton Taki upstairs, 1-1. We were talking to the coaches from the other teams, and unprovoked, everybody has brought up Von Lackey, and it's been, that guy's really good. One coach here in this tournament said that might be the best catcher I've ever seen in college. 1-2.
Not long. I mean, the athleticism, bat-to-ball skills, the power, the arm strength. I mean, he has it all. And usually you don't really say like, oh, that catcher's a 5-tool player. This catcher's a 5-tool player.
Taki hooks one down the right field line in the corner, and it's foul. Patel has set down all 8 that he's faced to this point, entering in the second inning. The 1-2. Just missed.
Very good call by Mullen. Mullen behind home plate. This pitch is down. Lackey does a good job of receiving, so everybody thinks that it's a strike, but he's able to get that pitch and bring it up.
2-2. And the count is full. Here comes the payoff. Down low, ball 4, and Taki works a 2-out walk.
That's a heck of an at-bat for Taki.
First base runner allowed by Patel. Tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN, number 1 Alabama turns to Jocelyn Brisky and their pitching staff to lead the Crimson Tide to the Women's College World Series final. Alabama 7-0 in the NCAA tournament. Tennessee, Texas, the other side of the bracket. That's coming up tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Number 9 hitter Branch takes ball 1. Here's the set. One misses high, the count 2-0 after setting down the first 8. Now all of a sudden the plate's starting to jump around a little bit on Mason Patel. And Branch has just 3 homers in the year. He's at a great hitter's count here.
He's going to be looking for that fastball. Patel does like throwing his changeup though when he's behind in counts.
3-0.
He's not feeling it. The last thing that you want to do if you're Mason Patel, one, you look at the pitch count at 33, which he's actually right where he needs to be. But the longer that this inning goes, the more it's going to favor Oklahoma. And you're Oklahoma right here in this situation. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take a pitch. You want him to throw.
Up and in, ball 4, and back-to-back walks for Patel here in the 4th.
This is something you don't really see out of Mason Patel. Doesn't really walk guys. For the season, that was walk number 14 in 39 innings. Not a big walk guy, so this is why you're seeing everybody kind of coming together. See what's going on over there with Mason Patel, just kind of giving them words of encouragement.
Give him a little bit of a breather here. Big spot for Oklahoma. Remember, Georgia Tech put together a 2-out, nobody on rally to get back in this game with the Burris homer in the 3rd, and now an opportunity for OU to get a 2-out base hit. See what they've done since the beginning of yesterday with men in scoring position. They've been outstanding. Jason Walk had a base hit through the hole in the left side. Did not going to run yesterday. And he takes the ball 1-0. There you see that hole between short and third is where Walk had a base hit yesterday. And so you got to be very careful with the location here.
Yeah, he did it with the slash. Showed the bunt, brought it back, and hit it right into that area.
Strike. And count 1-1. Talent thrown 8 straight out of the zone before that pitch. 1-1 the count. Taki at second. Does not have blazing speed. Branch runs well at first. The pitch. Into center field, coming on Burris. He'll make the head-high catch, and the inning is over. Oklahoma threatens, but they leave a pair. To the 5th we go. OU leading Georgia Tech 3-2, winner to Supers.
Championships, confetti rains, nets are cut, joy erupts, hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Well, one of these teams will continue their quest for the Men's College World Series in Omaha. The other will take an off-ramp off that road today. The winner gets Kansas. Will that be played at Hoagland Ballpark in Lawrence? Well, if OU wins, Georgia Tech wins, the Jayhawks will be coming here to take on the Yellow Jackets. 8-9-1 due for Georgia Tech here on this warm and breezy day in Atlanta. First pitch misses low to Parker Brocious. It's 1-0.
Parker Brocious, too. A lot of these home runs that he has hit, it's going opposite way. And we're looking at the flags right now, and they are howling down that right field line.
And Brocious to right field, and he has tied the game. Parker Brocious, his 10th home run since graduating on May 8th. And a big one.
Well, he talked about it. He likes going opposite field for the home run. And boy, he hit another one. Lets it get deep, shows off the opposite field power to tie this ball game up.
Well, the only thing that can stop the fans here in Atlanta from chanting Parker Brocious is Caleb Daniels walk-up music. And they've gone back-to-back. And Georgia Tech has the lead. The only thing faster than that ball getting out of here was the sprint around the bases by the sophomore on his 10th of the year.
Yeah, we talked about the bottom of the lineup getting their work done, and we said this whole season they've been doing it. Caleb Daniels comes through, gets a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and hits it out at 108, travels 425 feet to the top of the trees. You think they're excited?
High fives all around and some life breathed into this ballpark, and has to be a huge tension release for Georgia Tech. I mean, since the 4th inning of yesterday, they have been battling and battling and battling to get back into ball games, and now they've taken the lead here in the 5th. Carson Curse bats. A strike in the count 1-2. Curse saw Jason Bowden in the 1-0 game on Saturday night. The first 4 hitters in the lineup all faced him. Curse grounded out. Burris reached on an error and then a pair of walks. He dumps this one into right field in front of Harris, a base hit. Even with that 7-inning slump that they had where they didn't score a run, this is what their offense has done through 3.5 games.
I mean, we talked about it. They've got a really good lineup, top to bottom. They can hit homers. They like this ballpark. They love the crowd that's behind them.
And remember, about half of those runs scored, the hits, the homers, were all against UIC in the first game, but still, an average more than 8 runs a game to this boy. There's Burris. He's already homered once. Pitch outside, 1-0. And this is what we've seen when Georgia Tech gets going too, Gabby. It happens quick. It's homer, single, and generally in a span of 15 or 20 pitches, the number is very crooked on the scoreboard. So now Bowden is going to have to find a way to settle this down for OU. Strike, and it's 1-1.
Hey, here's the thing, too. Bowden's a tough pitcher to face. I mean, his stuff's moving all over the place. He's got 95, 96 in the bag, has a very good slider playing off of it. It's not like they're doing it against somebody who can't throw.
1-2 count as that fastball came back to the corner against Burris.
And this is where Bowden does need to kind of just settle in. Understand, hey, look, this is a park where the ball's going to fly out. They've noticed that, and it's helped them.
It gets away from LaChance, and Curse in scoring position with nobody out in the 5th. A passed ball on Dayton LaChance.
You know, I'm looking at LaChance right now. It seems like he doesn't realize what was going on, or maybe it was supposed to be a certain pitch, and he got crossed up.
He's frustrated with himself, yeah.
He's frustrated, and he was throwing the ball down. He was looking at the dugout kind of like, what was that?
2-2 the count. Way outside, and the count goes full. The pitch just didn't react the way he wanted it to, or thought it was going to.
That's what it looks. It's almost like he thought the ball cut on him.
Swing and a miss. Burris down on strikes for the first out. Huge pitch from Bowden for a big first out.
Yeah, this is what you talk about right now. If you're Bowden, it's about settling in, understanding, okay, that happened quick. Now can't afford to lose another one, and just going right after Drew Burris. That's just power against power.
Stopped him from stomping on the bleachers. Jared Vincula 2 for 2. A single and a double for the second baseman. Popped up, foul territory, third base side, out of play. Oh, come on. You gotta make that play.
Those are the ones that say baseball's easy.
He's like, I had it in my hands, and then it hit him on his dome. Man, something to work on in fall ball. The 0-1. Advincula to center, and there's Walk to make the catch. 2 outs. Curse tags, but bluffs. And now Vaughn Lackey with a 2-out chance. Quiet the last 2 games. Vaughn Lackey, an opportunity here to tack on an insurance run. Georgia Tech on back-to-back homers from the 8 and 9 hitters. Brocious and Daniel have taken the lead here in the 5th. Strike with a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Ripped foul.
He's starting to feel it, though, because that last at-bat that he grounded out to third left his bat at 106 miles an hour, I believe is what it was. So he's starting back to get in the barrel to baseball.
He just hasn't gotten it elevated here, but number 2 long home runs already in this regional, the 2 longest of the year for Georgia Tech. Chased off the plate, and big strikeouts from Bowden, sandwiched around to fly out by Advincula to get out of the jam. But Georgia Tech gets the lead. Parker Brocious goes the other way. And Caleb Daniel, making his first start of the regional, has given the Yellow Jackets a 4-3 lead in this winner-take-all game. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. On the flats in Midtown Atlanta, Georgia Tech leading Oklahoma 4-3, the number 2 seed. Trying to get to their first super in a generation, 20 years since Georgia Tech has found their way into a super regional. Mason Patel continues. The relief ace entered in the second. You can see the difference. Carson Ballard struggled in the first, and since Patel's come in, nada for Oklahoma.
Yeah, the first 8 batters, those were all Carson Ballard. The next one, yeah, that's been all Mason Patel.
But now he's starting to work through the lineup for the second time here, Gabby, and I'm curious what you're looking for in adjustments for the OU hitters. I know we talked about this a little bit with their head coach Skip Johnson earlier, but now they've all seen Patel once. 2-1.
I mean, they've done a good job, too, of trying to lay off the changeup and anything that's down. So, again, you're going to have to get him up in the zone. Because if you get that changeup up in the zone, it's not going to have that same action as when he's getting on top of it and it's working its way down.
Swing and miss. 2-2.
But that's the problem that you have when you're facing a guy like Patel. It's not overpowering stuff. But, I mean, he just knows where to work that ball. He's working in the corners. He's working it down. He does have enough on that fastball because of the changeup.
Roller to the right side. Advincula has it and shovels to first. The leadoff man gone in the Oklahoma fifth. That brings up the biggest power threat in the OU lineup, Dayton LaChance. LaChance gave OU a 2-0 lead in the first with a long 2-run home run off the video board in left center field.
You could shortchanging it because he went over it.
I'm sorry, went over it. A long home run over the video board. ESPNU regrets the error.
I mean, that's the second ball that we've seen hit in this regional to go over that scoreboard, and that's not a small scoreboard either.
I mean, it was not quite as far as Fond du Lac, but it was close. It was close. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. They could get that scoreboard to explode on home runs. Be cool.
The fireworks shooting off. That would be expensive at this ballpark.
Here's the 1-1. Down low, 2-1. I don't understand why exploding scoreboards never came into vogue. The White Sox have done it for 50 years. Like, do you think we could have one here? Maybe when they start investing and renovating, which they want to do at this place, they can add fireworks to it.
Yeah.
Probably a good year not to do it. Their budget would have been.
It would.
Bankrupted the athletic department with all the home runs they had.
They would have had to be passing the hat around the fans.
Three and 1 the count to LaChance. And the pitch. Swing and miss. It's 3-2. Now, the last time Mason Patel allowed a home run was a year ago today.
It's a long time.
Yeah. You know I'm going to be in trouble, right? Sir foul.
Oh, watch out.
ESPN is the home of MLB.tv. You can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLBTV. I do not believe in the announcer jinx.
I know you don't. I don't either, actually.
The payoff. And a roller to first, backhanded by Schmidt. Patel covers, gets there just in time. 2 outs. A little better that the streak continued after that because I may not have been allowed to leave it that otherwise.
We would have had to have an X score for you. How about this play with Schmidt? There's nobody there. Everybody's all the way on the other side of the infield. He's the only one there to be able to make that play. Patel, too, good job getting over there, making sure he's able to get that ball and tag first base.
2 outs for Jackson Willits, the switch-hitting shortstop, 3-year starter, son of their associate head coach, former big leaguer Reggie Willits. Older brother of the number 1 overall pick last year of the Washington Nationals, Eli Willits. What have you thought of Jackson Willits now you've hit 5 games to see him?
It's like you told me. He is just a really good, well-rounded baseball player.
He's a guy that the numbers just don't do justice to, I don't think.
But he has swung the bat a lot better here in this regional. I've been seeing a lot of hard contact out. He hit a home run in this regional as well.
Well, you know, he and his wife just had a baby on March 30th, which means he's probably getting more sleep on the road. So that went low, the count 2-1. I also am uncomfortable with the idea of Reggie Willits being a grandfather, just because his brother Eli off to a very good start in Fredericksburg. And A-ball hitting .290 with 4 homers. The 2-1 fouled away. I remember our good friend Aaron Fitt from D1 Baseball is here today covering this, and he saw Oklahoma play in the fall when Jackson was a freshman, so 3 years ago, Eli was still in high school. And Eli was playing shortstop, and Aaron was like, well, who's that recruit? I don't know anything about him. Didn't realize that he was like a sophomore in high school still.
He's a 15-year-old out there.
The 2-2. Jackson Willits to center field and deep. Going back on it is Burris. Still going back. He's to the fence. He leaps. He's got it. Inning over. He was staying in the yard, but Burris with a flash of style to end the fifth. Drew Burris with the leap, the kiss. And we head to the sixth. Georgia Tech leading by a run. The NBA Finals tip off Wednesday night. Knicks at Spurs in Game 1. Coverage starts at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. You can see the finals live on the ESPN app. Good rebounding position there for Drew Burris. Be a great basketball coach. Yeah. Just stomp on the floor and say, box out!
Box out.
Box out!
Use your body.
There's Burris. I don't know that I guarantee you played basketball growing up, but he was more of a point guard.
He was a point guard. He didn't have to box out.
Well, I mean,
maybe at the top of the key.
Listen, he's tough. He'd be a good rebounding point guard, I think, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes guards can get in the paint. I just say that because
he's athletic. He can jump.
Well, he's not the tallest of players. Those tend to not play on the front line. But they do get T-shirts made of them.
That's a cool shirt.
Where can we get those?
I think Burris has one of those.
Of
himself? I can see him wearing that.
We were talking about the other day, Johnny Cueto, the pitcher who used to have a photo of him wearing a hat. With a photo of him wearing a hat on it, right? And like get Drew Burris wearing the T-shirt. The 2-2. And the count full to Ryan Zuckerman. Leading home run hitter for Georgia Tech starts the sixth. They have a 4-3 lead, winner-take-all game. Good recovery in the last half inning by Jason Bowden after giving up back-to-back home runs. They get the next three hitters, and Zuckerman called out on strikes. A delayed call by our home plate umpire, Derek Malika.
This one was a little high in my opinion. You can see when LaChance has to get a ball and bring it down, that's one of those tell times that, you know what, that pitch was probably up because when he catches it, he brings it down.
Drew Burris going surrender cobra on that one out. Now remember, he called out Alex Hernandez on a pitch in a similar spot, or called a strike on him earlier. It was down a little bit, but
yeah,
Hernandez is a little shorter.
Yeah, the Hernandez one, like that one I can see, that one to me was a little bit up. But you know what, though? It's two strikes. It's close enough.
one to Hernandez outside, 1-1.
It's different when I was playing to now, right? Because all of a sudden, you know, balls being off the plate and all that. But you would always have coaches say, if it's close enough, foul it off to get to the next pitch, right? So that's basically what it is. That's going to be close. Let me foul it off. Let me get to the next one.
But that's a tough pitch to fight off.
Oh,
right
it
at
is.
the top of the
I
zone
mean, it's
like
95
that, yeah.
miles an hour. I get it.
2-1 to Hernandez. Bowden approaching his season high in pitches made. And he will equal it on this next one, the 2-2 pitch to Hernandez. Back-to-back homers allowed in the fifth. As many home runs in that inning as he's allowed all year coming into today. The 2-2. Outside, and the count is full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on, top of the 6th inning. Georgia Tech with a 4-3 lead. Resetting the count is 2-2. Hernandez doesn't think so, and James Ramsey, I wonder, this is something they should be able to review. I think they're reviewing the pitches there. Okay, so and you see Ramsey say that's what I had too, so I wanted to make sure. Well, it's a 3.
Yeah, he's saying it's 3.
Malik is
Yep,
explaining it.
they're
Yeah,
saying
3-2. So okay,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
Malik was wrong. All right,
I
that's
had
what
3
I
and 2 also.
3-2. All right, we're good. There's no argument from Skip Johnson, which means he had 3 and 2 as well.
I don't know what was happening there.
I think he just didn't click it on his clicker. Missed one in there. No harm, no foul. That's a basketball term, too. 3-2. All 4, and Hernandez walks. Base runner.
And this is what you want to see from an umpire. If you're going to give high, then you can't give low, right? So that pitch was down in the zone. So if you're giving high and you're calling the high strike, it's tough for a hitter then to say, hey, I'm going to also call the low strike.
Kent Schmidt takes the ball low. It's 1-0. Schmidt hitless today. And Skip Johnson's going to march out to the mound. When he strides with purpose, this is just a regular old mound meeting. Skip, the head coach, also the pitching coach here, as action begins in the bullpen.
And he's usually very quick to go to the bullpen. Like, he doesn't mess around. He usually walks out, and as he's walking, he's already pointing.
The NCAA Super Regional coverage continues Friday across ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN+. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. That's a quick conference as you see the pitching line coming up here for Jason Bowden.
Yeah, with Bowden, too, you got to remember, that's back-to-back batters on 3-2 counts. Right, so I guarantee you that Skip Johnson's going out there saying, hey, use your stuff, get it across the plate. Can't have these long counts anymore.
It's also a season high in pitches.
Yep.
And granted, hey, listen, this is the last game of the year potentially, right? So you'll see guys stretched out a little. As he lands that one for a strike, it's 1-1. But my concern is always, like, when does that fatigue set?
Right, well, I mean, you heard the same thing with James Ramsey, right, with Mason Patel. He's like, if he goes the rest of the way, that's fine. And we know he wants to. Right, same thing. These guys are knowing and understanding, hey, if I can pitch, I want to be out there.
Schmidt goes backside for a base hit. Hernandez to second. He's going to challenge walk. The throw to third. It gets away, and Georgia Tech has him on the quarters with 1 out.
I like the aggressive base running there by Alex Hernandez. The ball is in front, but boy, that was a dangerous one because Walk got there extremely quick to throw the ball in. Not a bad throw at all.
It's kind of skipped there,
Yep.
but it almost hit the lip, right?
Yeah, and here's the other one, too. Johnson went out to go get it. I think that was maybe because the ball was going to be thrown off third base, but if he stayed at third and just played that inside to home, might have been an easier play for him, but it's tough when it's in real life and that ball's coming at you.
Parker Brocious homered his last trip to tie the game. That was huge to get a man to third with less than 2 outs. A fly ball would be an extra run. A fly ball to the right might be 3 for Brocious. Inside out swing roller to first. Taki steps on the bag, and they will have a man in the rundown, and he throws it away. Schmidt hustling to third. It's 5-3 Georgia Tech, and a big throwing error there from Dayton Taki. Gavin, you were a first baseman. Take us through what happened on that play and what Taki should have been looking at.
Yeah, here's the thing. Parker Brocious, this ball eats him up, gets on him quickly. So this ball is not going to be hit hard to Taki. So as a first baseman, you got to realize the situation of where guys are at. This ball hits. Hernandez is not running right away, but I don't think that Taki realizes that. If he would have just gotten that ball right away, he could have gone home to get Alex Hernandez, but he didn't. Here, he steps on first. He just has to be able to finish that. You're going to give up the run anyways. You got to be able to make that throw to second. I don't know exactly what Brocious was doing on that, or sorry, what Schmidt was doing on that one, because all he had to do was just keep running. He would have been safe.
Here's what it is. You're going to get a look at this from up top. Watch Hernandez at third.
Look, Hernandez. Hernandez doesn't run right away. So if he would have gotten that ball, come get it, throw it to home, Hernandez would have been out. You have to understand, with 1 out, guys are running. That ball is not hit hard enough to be able to get that double play.
It's 5-3 Georgia Tech. Man at third, 2 outs. New pitcher for Oklahoma. We'll tell you about him in a moment.
Parker Brocious, he's going to hit this ball. It's going to be in on his hand. So he's not even going to be able to get out of the box quickly. But understand the situation. There's 1 out. As a first baseman, if you catch this ball, as soon as you step on first, that's it. You eliminated the force play at second. So you're going to have to tag. In doing so, that runner's going to be able to score. But if you see where Hernandez was, he wasn't going right away. So if Taki gets that ball and looks and sees Hernandez is not going, what he should have done is just come home, because the ball was not hit hard by Brocious, so he wouldn't have been able to turn that double play.
Instead, it ends up a man at third and 2 outs. And that is it for Jason Bowden. And see the line on him, and a little frustration throwing his glove as he walked into the dugout. 3 runs allowed, and Georgia Tech has opened a 2-run lead. Briscoe Smith is on. This is just his 2nd appearance of the year. And a A little bit of a surprise that he's available as this one to the left, right side and through. Past a diving Branch for a base hit, and Georgia Tech extends the lead to 6-3. Well, the decision to add Caleb Daniel in the 9 spot has certainly paid off for James Ramsey. His first start of the regional, a homer and an RBI single in 3 trips.
Yeah, I got to remember that James Ramsey has been using Will Baker in that DH spot, decided to flip it and give Caleb Daniels the start. Boy, it's worked out for him. 2 hits so far, 2 RBIs. This is a big one here because of the mistake by OU. Smith was able to get to third, and that's going to be an easy score.
First pitch, a strike to Carson Kearse. Risco Smith threw the ball as well as anybody on the OU roster in the fall. That a stress reaction in his elbow has kept him out the entirety of the season until now. There are a lot of really impressive freshman arms on this Oklahoma team. This is one of them. Nothing like having your second appearance of your collegiate career be in a winner-take-all game where they need zeros.
It's a good fastball. 94, 96 miles an hour. Comes straight over the top. It's going to be a little bit more flat. But those are the other pitches he has. Has a slider. He'll throw a little bit of a cutter as well. He will utilize a changeup. Hasn't pitched much, so he has a fresh arm. But I don't see them being able to utilize him for multiple innings because he hasn't been thrown.
2 to 3 is what Skip Johnson thought. He was built up to be able to do that. If he can get the last out here and keep them in the game for a couple more, it'd be a huge boost to OU who's had to run through the losers bracket. In the dirt, gets away from LaChance. Heading to second is Daniel on the wild pitch.
Daniels did a really nice job there. As soon as he saw that ball hit dirt, he was off and running, trying to get himself into scoring position. Now all of a sudden, if Carson Kearse is able to get just a base hit, Georgia Tech will score another.
Two outs, man at second. That one to the screen, and it bounced back to LaChance. That's a break for OU. Chance.
I mean, did this hit the concrete? It
Yeah.
did. It hit the concrete. That's why it came back. I'll tell you this, though. Caleb Daniels is lucky he didn't start running because he would have been thrown out by a mile.
Three and two the count. Foul away by Kearse. Like the LaChance was laughing about that too when it came back. It sounds like he's got a great personality. You know, the catcher for OU is from Quebec, and he went to go play at McLennan Junior College, where Skip Johnson's son Tyler was a coach. He didn't know a word of English when he got on campus. And earlier this week, Skip said he was asking him, like, what was your conversation with the umpire like about the strike zone? He said, I have no idea. I barely speak English. Punch through the right side, a base hit for Kearse. Rounding third is Daniel. He will score. It's 7-3 Yellow Jackets.
And all of a sudden, that wild pitch came to cost OU. Carson Kearse does a really nice job. That's a good fastball at 95 miles an hour. Hits it opposite way. James Ramsey, he wasn't messing around sending him. He was not going to put any stop sign on that one.
Burris takes a strike, 0-1. Yellow Jackets chance starting. Burris a 2-run home run in the third. Get the scoring started for Georgia Tech. A strike, and it's 0-2. Everybody wearing their Drew Burress shirt. And wishing he was in the lineup for the Yellow Jackets right now. Chapter to short, charging Willits. Gloves, throws, got him. Inning over. But a 3-spot for Georgia Tech, and they've taken a 4-run lead. It's 7-3 as we get to the bottom of the 6th in this winner-take-all game. ESPN is the home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals for around-the-clock multi-game coverage. Just scan the QR code on your screen. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play and access Mike Rooney's wardrobe. Squeeze Play will follow us here on ESPNU this evening as well. Mason Patel has settled this game down for Georgia Tech.
I mean, this is what Mason Patel does, and he's done it all season long. It seems like whenever they need somebody out there that they can count on to put up some zeros, it's exactly what he does. Going 4 innings, hasn't allowed a hit, has walked 2, 3 strikeouts. He's utilizing that fastball changeup mix. Has thrown a lot of those changes, but again, it's just where he's throwing these pitches.
His longest relief outing of the year in innings. By pitches, it's 57. We saw that at the ACC tournament against Virginia. Trey Gamble sends the first one to center. Drew Burress is back. He doesn't have to leap this time. Makes the catch for out number 1. And this is the part of Patel that I think can be frustrating for hitters. He's really good at throwing pitches that hitters seem to hit to the biggest part of the ballpark.
It's just where he's throwing these pitches, right? I mean, it's just utilizing the corner, staying down in the zone. It's tough for a hitter when the pitch is down in the zone to hit barrel and try to get it up in the air. A lot of times you're going to be just grounding those pitches out. So that's what really makes him tough. And not only that, he has enough on that fastball to really keep you honest.
Now the question is, how deep are they going to be able to go? I know James Ramsey said, well, his mindset is he's going to go through the rest of the way. And, Patel is at the end of his collegiate career. He may not play professionally, so, I mean, he's going to leave it all out there. But the reality is that he threw 90 pitches on opening weekend against Bowling Green. And his high water mark since moving back to the bullpen has been equaled right now. So can he go to 80 pitches? Can he go to 70?
I think he's going to go as long as he tells them that he can go. And that's the thing with Mason Patel. He hasn't pitched all weekend. So he's going to be fresh. I think that what they're going to do, too, is they're going to look at the numbers. They're going to look at the velocity.
Called strike 3, 2 outs. I mean, they may not need to look at anything. He still hasn't a lot of hits. It's coming into the game in the second.
It's just absolutely filthy. I mean, look at where this pitch is and look where it goes. Starts away, comes right back over. That is why he's so tough. He's able to dot on those areas. Down and away, down and in, move the ball around. I really do. I feel like they're going to basically lean on him, and he will let them know, like, hey, I'm good or I'm not good, and he's never going to say he's not good.
Ball one low. Desan Harris fouls it at the plate and count 1-1. I mean, I guess there's a point where the OU hitters will start to tell you whether or not he's still being effective, right? So the question is,
Right, when you see
how
the barrel
quickly can you
coming
move
off,
that? Yeah.
right? They'll probably start once he gets to close to that 70 mark. So I would guess, like, if he finishes this inning, then you should be starting to see guys kind of in that bullpen, just not maybe throwing, but being ready.
In that fourth inning, where he threw 20 pitches, he issued a pair of 2-out walks, and that's the first base hit for Oklahoma against Patel. That throw comes into the middle of the diamond, and Patel there to back it up. But Desan Harris, the first hit off the reliever, comes with 2 outs in the 6th. Speed aboard for Dayton Taki. Big shift on for the big first baseman. A couple of home runs in this tournament. Tap foul. It's 0-1.
For OU right now, one, you got to be able to make an adjustment. Two, with Georgia Tech, the way that they put shifts on, you got to be able to beat that.
Bouncer foul. It's 0-2.
And we've seen the over shifts all game. We've seen it all regional. For Georgia Tech, it seems like whenever hitters come up, it's a complete over shift. If I'm a hitter at this point and I'm looking at the scoreboard at 7-3, I'm getting jammed. I'm trying to hit something to that third base. I'm doing everything that I can. I'm not thinking about home runs at this point. I'm trying to get on for the next guy and then, just continue following that.
Throw to first, and Harris is back. Well, that's really the thing. Obviously, OU needs runs down 4 here in the 6th, but they need base runners to get there. And
this is an easy way, right? They're giving you that whole entire third base. Get jammed. Just try to hit the ball that way. Get another guy on.
Tap foul, and that came up and took a piece out of Taki. Oh. Oh, yeah, Ken Schmidt's been there. He understands.
If you play baseball, we've all been there. And there's nothing funny about it. Come on. I think they're all laughing
really
over there.
Got him. Yeah.
It got him good.
It's going to take him a minute here. Ooh. Deep breaths. The worst part is that second moment and you think it's okay, and then the second wave comes over. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, you start to get that nauseous feeling in your stomach. Take your time. Take your time.
I think
Don't
down
rush
on the
back.
chain, undoubtedly, undoubtedly that helped. Mom's glad he's okay.
He does not look okay.
Oh, poor dude. Ugh. It's got a important spot here as they try to mount a rally with 2 outs in the 6th. Oklahoma has just had their first hit off Mason Patel since he came out of the bullpen. Now Taki ready to go again. The 0-2, runner goes. Pitch is a ball. The throw by Lackey, not in time. Boy, Desan Harris just streaking into second base of that stolen base.
Harris flying. I mean, he was off and running. This should be no play. How quick Lackey gets up and throws that ball to second base, though.
Remember, there's still a huge hole on the left side. Taki hooks it foul. So the third baseman, Zuckerman, has had to move over close to the bag.
Yeah, that's because of the steal threat.
But there's still nobody else on the left side of the infield, and a ground ball to shortstop, where the shortstop normally stands, would mean a run. I mean, we just saw how quick Harris went from first to second. Wait till he gets going underway. One, two again. That one to the screen, and Harris will go to third. Slipping out of Patel's hands. Last couple of pitches have been a little bit more wild from Patel. He missed badly on the 0-2 with a stolen base, and now that one to the screen. Three and two. And Taki reaching, even if he just gets to first, it will clear the 9 spot in the order. And that would seem to be, even if they don't score in this spot for Oklahoma, would be a minor victory. I'm nervously watching. The payoff. Grounded into the shift. There's Curse, inning over. A one-out single, a man left at third for Oklahoma. We head to the 7th. Georgia Tech leading 7-3 in this regional final. Fifth inning is when things change for Georgia Tech. Taking Gabby Sanchez's advice to use the wind, Parker Brocious tied the game. Caleb Daniel gave them the lead with these back-to-back home runs. You can see the first 8 innings yesterday, incredible, then shut down for the longest stretch they have been all season. 7 innings, the longest stretch without scoring a run all year. And now in the last 4.
Yeah, they got back on track.
Yeah, they have. And they have the heart of the order due here. Jaron Advincula, single and a double in 3 trips today against Briscoe Smith. The freshman's first pitch is a strike, and Advincula did not care for that. Seen some high strikes called to Georgia Tech hitters in particular. At some point, you're just going to have to accept that that's going to be there, right?
That's the strike zone right now. So you got to understand, okay, things that are in this area, it's going to be called a strike. So I got to make the adjustment. Usually if they give up, they're not going to give down, right? So, okay, fine. If you're going to give up, then I know that I have to swing at that. But anything down, now I get to lay off.
comes the 0-2. Foul back. Let's see. Vincula very rarely strikes out. Makes him a very tough hitter. Doesn't hit the ball super hard, but he knows how to get base hits. At least not consistently. He's got a knack. Transfer from Cal, waiting. Slaps it foul.
Let's see making the adjustment. Where that pitch was, 93, top of the zone, knowing, okay, I know that I have to try to cover this pitch now. Spoil it, get yourself another one.
And he serves that one past the outstretched glove of Branch and into right field. A leadoff single for Georgia Tech in the 7th. And here comes Vaughn Lackey, Vaughn Lackey, the catcher. He was hitless in the last 2 games, 0 for 3 today.
There's a lot of power in this bat. He shut it off in the first 2 games of this regional. See if he can get himself back on it.
Starting to get a little more overcast here at the ballpark. The wind dying down. There's a chance for rain a little bit later on. See, Lackey has reached safely in his last 22 games. Yesterday, that slugging percentage was up over 1,000. A strike. And count 0-1. Throw over and Vincula back.
Yeah, they've been pitching Vaughn Lackey a little bit differently. Utilizing the breaking pitches early, trying to attack him with the fastballs later. They're pitching him backwards.
One and one the count. This feels like a spot where Georgia Tech may want to start running a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't do it very much. And Vincula is one of their better base stealers.
Vincula is 16 for 18 in stolen bases this year. Briscoe says not the quickest to home.
In the dirt. 1-1.
He's got a high leg kick. It's about a 1.5. Usually when you see those type of numbers, especially with a guy that can run, you're telling him to move. Now, there is that thought process too with Vaughn Lackey up. Don't mess around. Let him just worry about hitting. We don't want somebody running.
And he swings and launches it to left, but he just missed. Coming in to make the catch is the left fielder, Brock, for out number 1. Big swing, but that one didn't quite jump off the bat.
I think that one got a little bit off the end of the bat. He was right on it. He knew what he wanted to do, just got it off the end.
Here's Zuckerman. Now are you more likely to run with Zuckerman up there?
Yes.
Granted, he's got power, but he also is leads the team in strikeouts. He's 0 for 3 today.
I definitely would be trying to run. As a hitter, too, put you a little bit more at ease. And if you're going to run, you want to run early. Big hitters, they'll let you take a strike. They'll take a strike for you to let you get themselves into scoring position. But you got to do it in one of the first 2 pitches.
Takes a high strike. 0-1. A little quicker to the plate that time. That's the second time he's had high strikes called against him. James Ramsey's going to use a timeout, and he wants to talk to Zuckerman here.
But look, he's calling it.
Yeah.
And he's been calling it. So as a hitter, you can't get frustrated, especially when you already had an at-bat where that pitch was called. You got to understand, okay, that's the zone. He set up the zone for you. You know that the zone is there. So don't be mad that he's calling it. Make the adjustment.
This is the one back in the 5th inning.
Basically the same exact pitch. That one may be even a little bit lower, but still, that's the zone right now. Umpires will show you their zone, and all you want for umpires is to be consistent in that zone.
Yeah, that one was a fastball, the pitch that started this at bat, a breaking ball that hit the top of the zone. Inside. 1-1. I thought it was a breaking ball. Maybe I was wrong.
I think it was.
What's that?
I think it was.
You think it was?
Yeah.
Pitch. Low. 2 balls and a strike to Zuckerman. 7-3 Georgia Tech. They lead batting in the top of the 7th inning. Winner goes on to Super Regionals. 2-1. Hit back through the middle, a base hit. Advincula is going to make the turn and head to third with Walk playing very deep. And Georgia Tech has him at the corners with 1 out. The energy back in Russ Chandler Stadium as Skip Johnson makes the trip to the mound to go and visit with his freshman. There is action in the bullpen. Jackson Cleveland, who helped settle down the game yesterday, was up, and it appears that he is coming in. Pitching change as the senior comes in from the pen to face Alex Hernandez. Georgia Tech leading Oklahoma 7-3 in the 7th.
All the big moments.
Get a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag squeeze play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
Historical season will continue.
Oh, seriously? We're reading the paper. We're not watching squeeze play? What are we doing?
He did the crossword.
I mean, is that only
Hold
during
on, let me
pitching
get a picture
changes?
of it so I can say I did it too. I think he did it in pen too. That's impressive.
I mean, I think that one shows a lot of confidence. And 2, I'm saying, like, if you deserve a break today, your break should be watching squeeze play, not reading the paper. Risco Smith, the freshman, got 2 outs, 4 hits allowed. Jackson Cleveland, through 3 innings, gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned yesterday. But got Hernandez to hit into a big double play to get out of the first inning when he came in for Cameron Johnson. First pitch is a strike, it's 0-1. And boy, could Jackson Cleveland use that again here, Gabby.
Very impressive for Jackson Cleveland to come out. He just finished pitching yesterday, threw a lot of pitches. I probably feel like that fastball velocity is not going to be the same as it was in yesterday's ball game.
A strike. And the count 0-2.
But boy, he would love the same outcome as when he came in the ball game in yesterday, where he was able to turn that double play.
A huge spot. First 3 had reached, 2 runs already home, got out of that inning. He did have an inning go against him, but settled the game down to allow Oklahoma to come back. And called strike 3. Hernandez down on 3 pitches, 2 outs. He'll take that.
Yeah, that will work. That's a big curveball. Talked about it yesterday. It's a good fastball curveball mix. It's a big curveball. It's a good pitch. Freezes Alex Hernandez.
He showed him everything. Threw him a 0-1 changeup and then the breaking ball there. 2 outs for Kent Schmidt. Runners still at the corners for Georgia Tech, trying to add to this 4-run lead. One and 0. Bottom of the order for Georgia Tech has been incredible all season long. Schmidt, the 7 hitter. Outside, 2-0, and that has involved Schmidt and Barocious and Caleb Daniel and Will Baker, and early in the season, Carson Curse. They've gotten a ton of production up and down the lineup. The 2-0. Takes a strike in the count 2-1.
And again, just playing overshift, especially with a guy like Kent Schmidt who can handle the bat, giving him a lot of space over there on that left side where he can kind of almost get beat by a pitch, and it's going to end up getting a hit and an RBI if he's able to hit it to that area.
He hit a ball up the alley his last trip. And he takes away in the count 3-1. Remember, he flied out to the wall and left a couple of times yesterday. We have not seen him hit a ground ball to the left side.
But there, I mean, he looks to go that way. It's not like he's trying to pull every single pitch. In this situation, too, you make a hitter a little bit better of a hitter because you're letting him back up the ball.
The 3-1 swing and a miss.
He was trying to hit a homer there.
Well, it was 3-1, and he got a changeup and was way out in front.
He said, I get what you're saying, but it's 3-1. I'm going to get my swing off to see if I can hit it out.
Zuckerman will be running with 2 outs, 3-2 the count. Vincula down the line at third. Runner goes, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Schmidt down on strikes, and Cleveland quells the fire. It's time to stretch here in Atlanta. Georgia Tech leading OU 7-3 in the regional final. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Bottom of the 7th inning in Atlanta. Oklahoma, the home team in this decisive 7th game of the Atlanta Regional. The winner heads to Supers. OU trying to get back to Omaha for the first time in 22 years. Georgia Tech hasn't even been to a Super Regional in 20. That was their last Omaha trip, 2006. The number 2 team in this tournament has rallied from a 3-0 first inning deficit to take the lead. Mason Patel, their relief ace, has allowed just 1 hit through 5 innings of work. Now he'll face 9, 1, and 2 in the Oklahoma order. Kyle Branch takes a strike. It's 0-1. This feels like a very, very big inning for Patel.
Yeah, last inning started to get away from him just a little bit, but I'm looking at the fastball velocity, still 90, and it's spotting, so it's not like overthrowing 90.
The 0-1. Bouncer to third and foul. It's 0-2. Kyle Branch's mock carry here. Husband Rusty. You see the goateed young man to her right, left of your screen. That's Kobe Ranch, the shortstop for Georgia. Congratulations to the Bulldogs on making their way to Super Regionals, where they will host conference foe Mississippi State. The 0-2. Line to center field on the run. Burris, and he can't get it. It's over his head. And Kyle Branch starts the 7th inning with a double. Didn't seem like Burris got a very good read on that, Gabby.
No, he didn't get a good read at all. I think he felt like that ball didn't get hit as hard as it was off the bat of Kyle Branch. He actually comes in on it. And because he comes in, all of a sudden he realizes, oh, that ball's getting over my head. Didn't have the right route, but hey, you know what? Kyle Branch's mom really loves it.
Now can OU start to run their offense with the speedy Jason Walk at the plate. First pitch to the switch hitter, a strike. It's 0-1. We know home runs have been a story for OU here, but when things are going well, they're moving the ball around. They are bunting, they are running. Walk hitless in 3 trips today. They need more base runners, down 4. Swing and a miss.
I was really surprised that Walk didn't try to bunt and bring that ball with him. Smith's playing so far back that he had so much room that all he had to do was just bunt, bring it with him. There was going to be no chance to be able to get him at first.
The 0-2. And he dumps one over the head of Schmidt into right field, a base hit. Branch will be stopped at third, and OU has him at the corners with nobody out in the 7th. And the heart of the order coming up, Camden Johnson will bat.
Great job with 2 strikes, being able to hit that pitch, stay on the changeup, and drive it to right field. This is a changeup, he just stays on it enough, stays through it, and drives it. This is a great 2-strike approach of just, hey, gotta put the ball in play, gotta make something happen. Looks to pull the ball, especially with a man on second, and no outs.
They call the offense chaos. They're trying to create pressure on the base paths. Walk can fly at first. With that in mind, Patel keeping him close. 14 of 19 in stolen base attempts. There is action beginning in the Georgia Tech bullpen. They're starting to get guys up. Patel getting into uncharted territory for a relief outing this season. First pitch upstairs, 1-0.
In this situation, you'll give up a run to turn a double play.
Dimitri Angelico starting to toss in the bullpen, and a mound visit here. Brett Barfield, the senior lefty. We did not see Angelicos yesterday, and one of the reasons why was because Georgia Tech just felt like in those middle innings they were trying to keep it close, but they never quite pushed the button to bring in Angelicos or Patel because they were getting zeros.
What they were looking for is maybe a little bit of offense in yesterday's ball game. They weren't able to get it, so since they were losing the game, they were just staying status quo. And then, of course, Oklahoma put up a bunch in the bottom of the 8th, which really solidified that win.
Camden Johnson 0 for 3, facing Patel for the third time. Struck out looking against him in the second. Grounded to second in the fifth. He also reached on a key error in the first inning. A pitch, popped, foul, and out of play. The count 1-1.
Something to take a look at. If all of a sudden Camden Johnson is able to get a hold of one, it becomes a one-run ball game.
8 homers on the year. Big raw power for the left-handed hitting third baseman. Bouncer foul. That's 0-2. First inning, Oklahoma. 4 hits and a man reach on an error. Since then, 3 singles, 2 of those in this inning. A single and a double in this inning. 2 singles and a double for them. They have them at the corners with nobody out. Big pitch coming to Johnson. Roller to first. Schmidt will go to second. He'll get the middleman. The return throw not in time. Coming home to score on the play is Branch, and it's a 7-4 game.
We talked about it. You try to turn a double play. You give up the run to try to turn the double play. That's exactly what Schmidt did there. It's a high hopper. The only thing is understanding that Cam Johnson, he can run. So as soon as he went out to get this ball, Bayer basically knew they weren't going to be able to turn it.
As long as you get that lead runner in that spot, or in that case, the middle runner, it still keeps the double play in order with Dayton LaChance coming up. LaChance, a 2-run home run over the video board in left field in the first. Chases, it's 0-1.
LaChance is not afraid to swing the bat. He is looking to do damage. He is a free swinger.
Mason Patel has been one of the best relievers of the country the last 2 years, trying to get through this 7th inning. Throw to first, Branch dives back. Excuse me, Johnson dives back.
Johnson can run too, 26 for 29 in stolen base attempts this season.
Roller foul, it's 0-2.
Patel pretty quick to home. It's about a 1-2. Once you start getting to about a 1-3 mark, you start to think about it, but with lack of behind home plate, you don't really think too much because that's going to be a little bit too quick. So you want to be about a 1-4. So at 1.2, delivering this ball to home, Patel is going to be able to control the running game.
Toss over, and again back safely is Johnson. The chance has been on a power tear. He'll have the grand slam to put Oklahoma ahead in the 4th inning yesterday. Gave them a 2-0 lead in the first. Fouled away, just did get a piece. That is one way to protect the plate.
That ball was about a foot off the plate the way that he was able to somehow make contact with.
I'm assuming Mason Patel is thinking like you do, that in this spot that like
you don't have to come close to a pitch.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Patel here, I'm going to probably try to elevate a fastball off the plate way up in the zone.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, 2 outs. Danny Hall, the Hall of Fame coach, likes it. 2 outs.
He decided to go, you know what, I'm just going to stay with my changeup and let it be down. It's a pitch, it's an unhittable pitch. You're not going to be able to even foul that one off. And Dayton LaChance goes fishing for it. Can't come up with anything.
It'll be up to Jackson Willits. Oklahoma's cut into the lead. They trail 7-4 here in the 7th. First pitch from Patel. Snap throw to first, and just getting back is Johnson. Vaughn Lackey, he loves to throw behind the runners at first. That back pick nearly got Johnson.
That's one of the other things that helps control the running game, especially for a base runner at first. You can't get off too far from first because you have Von Lackey, who is not afraid to throw it over there.
Fans getting to their feet. The 0-1. Driven down the left field line, slicing in the corner. Long run for Brocious. He can't get there. It one hops against the fence. Johnson streaking around third. He's coming home. Here comes the relay. He is safe, safe. The ball was dropped by Lackey. Johnson scores from first, and it's a 2-run game. What a relay from Carson Kearse, and Lackey just couldn't find the handle.
I'll tell you what, it was great all the way around. Brocious in left field is able to get this ball quickly, bare hands it, gets it in. Kearse does a great job of getting there, but the throw is up the line, and because of that, as Lackey is trying to make the play, you have a hand that's coming in, and it's going to basically knock that ball out of Lackey's glove.
And apparently, yeah, I mean, Skip Johnson came out of the dugout to talk to Derek Malika, but this has got to be a Georgia Tech challenge, right?
You would think so. I mean, it looks like he touched all over it. He's all over the home plate right there. I mean, this is going to be quick and easy. I thought he had touched from the very beginning.
We could not hear the announcement from our home plate umpire.
But here it was. As he's sliding in, that ball, since it's thrown right into Camden Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, he's safe as can be.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's going to get dislodged. That's out. His hand's all over home plate. So this one should be very, very quick.
Well, it's a 2-run game as it stands right now. Okay, so they're challenging to determine whether or not how the tag was dislodged, because I don't think he ever, I mean, whether he tagged
I think
him
it
or
was,
not. The ball
hits
him.
him.
I mean,
I think he did have the ball. No, he never had the ball. Yeah, he never had
in fact, he can't even pick it up when it stops rolling. He goes to grab it twice and then tag the runner.
That's great replay.
After review, the runner safe at the plate. Calls confirmed. Georgia Tech has 1 challenge remaining.
Okay, so Georgia Tech challenged that. But Trey Gamble is going to come to the plate with 2 outs of the 7th inning, and he's got a pair of home runs in this regional. He represents the tying run.
It's getting to that point, though, where I know you trust in Mason Patel, but you have to be able to trust other guys. Mason Patel already at 86 pitches.
His season high 90, that in a start against Bowling Green on the opening weekend of the season in February. The man they call Uncle at the plate. Gamble takes low, 1-0. Trey Gamble, the Mormon mission right out of high school. He is 25 years old, transfer from Salt Lake Community College. Has a chance to tie the game with 1 swing here in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 89. It's 1-1.
Yeah, so fastball velocity is basically down about 2 or 3 miles an hour. Still able to spot it down low, so it's not like he's trying to get extra juice in there.
Patel trying to will his way through this inning. Bouncer to first. Schmidt waits for the 3rd hop. Underhands the pitcher covering. Inning over. Patel has done a marvelous job out of the Georgia Tech pen, but Oklahoma gets a pair. We head to the 8th. Georgia Tech 7, OU 5 in this elimination game. Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. Coming in his team down 3-0, Mason Patel, the relief ace for Georgia Tech, settled things down. 6 innings of 2-run ball. And Georgia Tech has a 2-run lead as they come to the bat in the top of the 8th innings. Having a long conversation with Matt Taylor. The two are very close. Patel's longest relief outing, 6 2/3 last year, March 22nd, against Notre Dame. Is his day over? Matt Taylor has not made the decision as of yet. It seems like Georgia Tech. Jackson Cleveland on the mound for Oklahoma. As 8-9-1 due. Parker Brocious tied this game with a solo home run in the 5th.
I would be very surprised if Mason Patel was still out there.
2-0. Here's what Brocious did in the 5th inning. An opposite field blast with the wind howling out to right field. Takes low in the count, 3-0. Parker Brocious chance starting again. A strike, it's 3-1. The wind has died down here. It has gotten a little more still, a little more overcast. There is a threat for rain in about the next hour and a half, although it's expected to be fairly light. The 3-1. Check swing, ball 4, and the leadoff man aboard for Georgia Tech in the 8th. Cammy, if you're Georgia Tech, you need to tack on insurance runs here because it feels like momentum is beginning to shift back to Oklahoma in this game.
You're looking for that answer back in it. Oklahoma just finished scoring 2. You're looking for the answer. Those are daggers, right? Because when you're able to answer back, all of a sudden the other team is going, man, we can't ever get close because every single time we score, they score, right? For Oklahoma, it's the opposite. Right now, if you're Cleveland, it's like, I need to do everything I can to get our offense back because all of a sudden we do have that momentum and we're rolling.
Caleb Daniel went back-to-back with Brocious in the 5th to give Georgia Tech the lead. Swings and misses the first pitch, changeup, it's 0-1. There's his 5th inning blast.
That was no doubt. I mean, the swing, short, quick, compact. Having some fun while he rounds the bases.
Just don't point to your family. Throw over to first, and Brocious just back. Boy, Brocious had to scramble to get back to the bag.
Cleveland's quick over there, quick feet. Big pickoff.
Swing and a miss. Well, that's 2 changeups that Caleb Daniel has been way out in front on. It's 0-2.
Yeah, it looked like Caleb Daniel was thinking fastball out of hand, taking huge cuts.
Brocious back easier that time.
Right now, if you're Daniel, you got to really think the opposite way. Because you probably are going to get another changeup. You might get a fastball, but if you get a fastball, you could still be able to make contact with it. But if you get a changeup, it'll keep you back enough to where you'll be able to get barrel to baseball.
1-2.
Here's the fastball. Try to change eye level. He will throw a curveball to the left-handed hitters.
But he's got to be coming back to the
But you would think,
right?
yeah, I mean, after those 2 swings that came up empty, you would think you got to go right back to the changeup, something down and away.
Off the end of the bat, rolled to short. Willits has to wait for it, gets to the bag at second, and on to first for the double play. What a play by Jackson Willits, 2 outs. I didn't think there was any chance he was going to be able to turn that. What a job.
I think they're going to try to go ahead and have a replay on this one. Brocious is running extremely hard, and I was just like you, I was thinking, oh, Willits is going to get this. It's going to be an easy 6U. Brocious coming in. It's going to be close.
Georgia Tech is challenging the outlaw at second base. plays under review.
Well, there is no doubt that the runner was out at first.
Yeah, out at first for sure. It's second. The angle that we got there, we're not able to really see. But Brocious got there a lot quicker just because that ball was not well hit.
Let's watch. This is the second replay in as many innings for Georgia Tech. Boy, that's close.
I mean, for me, that looks like it's going right at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And if it's at the same exact time, it's whatever was called on the field. It looks like it's getting at the same exact time for me.
I don't know that there is enough to overturn.
And I don't think so either. And to me, anyways, it's there. It's a bang bang right at the same exact time. Whatever the field, whatever was called on the field. So it was called an out. It was called the double play. It's what it should stay at.
I mean, what an incredibly athletic play by Willits, too. To get to the bag, make that throw, tumbling over Brocious.
There's foot on. I mean, this might, in this angle here, it kind of tells me that Willits got there just right before the foot hit. But again, it doesn't matter because even if at a tie, they're not going to be able to tell you. There's nothing there that shows anything different than what was called on the field.
Listen, if this does not get overturned, Georgia Tech is out of challenges.
Yeah.
They probably should not have challenged the play at the plate. It was pretty obvious that he was safe
that he
on
was
that.
safe.
This
and
one
you
I
saw
think
the
is a
ball
little bit more
dislodged.
understandable.
Like,
but
I
yeah.
don't get why that one was called. And I feel like that's one that James Ramsey would probably look back at and say, why would I ever challenge that? You could see the ball. It's not even there. You know, maybe they were thinking that, you know.
Well, it's not like Lackey was like, hey, we need to challenge this either. He's too busy trying to pick up the ball off the ground.
Was like, no, man, like there was nothing there. The only thing I can think of is maybe they were thinking, no, his hand didn't touch, but, boy, his hand was all over that plate the whole time.
See Derek Molliker, our home plate umpire. With Travis Reiniger, our third base ump. I don't see anything that overturns. Yeah, I think it's going to be a double play. Here's the ruling.
After review of the ruling is confirmed, he's out at second base.
Yeah.
The slide.
So 2 outs, nobody on. There's the replay center in Pittsburgh doing the work there. You can see actually the freeze frame on the left side of the screen. Hello, Chance. Georgia Tech, more importantly, out of challenges into the top of the lineup with Carson Kearse here in the 8th. OU will have 6, 7, and 8 due in the bottom of the inning, trailing by 2. No one is tossing in the Georgia Tech bullpen at the moment, so maybe Mason Patel is going to come back out. Carson Kearse takes a breaking ball strike. 0-1 after throwing nearly 70 pitches yesterday. Jackson Cleveland has done a whale of a job here. He pitched for Miami in Super Regionals a year ago before transferring to OU. Appeared in 2 of the 3 games at Louisville last season. Count 0-2.
It's just a lot of guts on the mound. Throwing yesterday as many as he did. I mean, really kept the game somewhat check for Oklahoma to be able to come back.
0-2 the count to Kearse. Kearse 3 for 3 today. With the walk, been on base all 4 plate appearances. Oh, just missed. Everybody was leaping out of the Oklahoma dugout, thinking that Kearse had been frozen. LaChance was headed to the dugout.
I thought this pitch was off, too. It was a curveball.
Yeah, it
You
was.
could see him off and bring it back. LaChance did come back and patted his chest like, my bad.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Cleveland gets a strikeout anyway, and the inning is over. Jackson Cleveland has done a great job again out of the OU pen. Oklahoma trailing by 2 with 6 outs to play with. Winners at Supers at 7-5 Georgia Tech. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Mason Patel heading back out for Georgia Tech to start the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yellow Jackets clinging to a 2-run lead. He'll face 6, 7, and 8 in the OU order. They are going to ride or die with their ride or die right now. That is Mason Patel.
I feel like this might be a batter to batter.
First pitch a strike, it's 0-1. 91 pitches. A career high for Patel. Dylan Loy getting loose in the bullpen for Georgia Tech. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2, and there is a chance that Loy is getting ready for the 2 lefties coming up.
I think that's exactly what it is. Hey, can you go out there and get us just one more out? When you get Brendan Brock, that way we're able to go to our lefty.
And Tate McKee, their Friday starter, has a ball in the bullpen as well. The 0-2 just missed. 1-2. The senior Patel, incredibly popular teammate, incredibly popular player, one of the best relievers of the country the last 2 years. This could be his final game if Georgia Tech can't hang on. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the leadoff man gone in the Oklahoma 8th.
I don't know if they're going to go get him. I think they're saying, well, if you keep throwing the baseball like this, we're going to keep you out there. That's a good changeup. Backdoor gets the swing and miss. Yeah, they're not going. They're staying with him.
Dasan Harris, 2 for 3. The speedster takes a ball, 1-0. Last home run that Patel allowed was in regionals against Ole Miss and Hattiesburg last year. Liner down the right field line. That's going to get down and roll into the corner. Harris on his way to second. He will shut it down there, and the tying run will come to the plate for OU in the 8th. I should say that was in Oxford last year, where Georgia Tech, even as the ACC champion, was sent on the road. 7-5 Georgia Tech. Decision to make. James Ramsey looks like he's sticking with his guy. Dayton Taki, a pair of home runs in this regional. 0 for 2 today. Here comes Matt Taylor. Pitching coach is going to take his time heading out.
This is interesting. You have a lefty warming up. Tate McKee's out there too. But I mean, look, what he's been able to do today came in that second inning. He has done an amazing job, but you could tell there's fatigue in there.
McKee is going to pitch the ninth, you would think.
Yes.
So how do you get these next 2 outs is the big question for Matt Taylor and James Ramsey.
I'm going to the bullpen, to be honest with you. I know that they trust Patel. I get it. But this is a guy who's thrown 96 pitches so far in this ballgame, the most that he's thrown in his career. The first game of the season, he was a starter and threw a bunch of pitches. But ever since then, they put him into the bullpen.
Loy in the foreground, Brett Barfield, who's got reverse splits in the back, number 32. Tying run at the plate, it's Taki. He has power. 1 out in the 8th, and he lines this one into right. It's going to get down for a base hit. Harris will get the stop sign at third as Patel cuts off Hernandez's throw, and now the go-ahead run coming to the plate in Kyle Branch. And is this the moment that James Ramsey makes the move to the pen? And no movement yet from the head coach for Georgia Tech.
He's just clapping.
Trying to get his team and the fans into it. Branch doubled and scored in the 7th. Tying runs aboard here in the 8th for Oklahoma. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1.
Even the changeup right now, he's leading it up.
It's got a lot of run
to it. I mean, that could help you out with a ground ball. Almost working like a sinker.
Shift on, but Advincula just to the first base side of second. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Oklahoma will use a timeout here. Kyle Branch's mom locked in, earpiece in. Runners at the corners, 1 out, 0-2 pitch on its way. Here it is. Tapper back to the mound. Patel will come home. He can't find the handle, and it's a 1-run game. And now the go-ahead run is at first.
Tell you what, Patel threw a really good changeup here. Branch just hits it right off the end. Patel comes in, just cannot come up with the grip. That would have been an out at home if he's able to get that ball out of his hand.
A fielder's choice, and now the tying run in scoring position. Mom loves it because her son is potentially the winning run at first. At least the go-ahead here in the bottom of the 8th. And this is going to be it for Mason Patel. A fielder's choice and an error on the pitcher allows Oklahoma to get within a run. Patel, 100 pitches on the nose. And we are going to get a pitching change here in Atlanta. Incredible work by Patel, but now the game is on the bases for Dylan Loy, the transfer from Tennessee. Listen to the ovation that Mason Patel will get here. Second longest relief outing of his career, but the game is on the bases right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, gutsy performance. To be honest with you, I felt like they probably should have gone to the pen to start the 8th inning. They let him go out there, then you started to realize, okay, you know, Brendan Brock, he's a righty. Get him out. As soon as they got him out, I thought that was the time to go because there was going to be back-to-back lefties. They left him out there. You can tell, look, he's fatigued, he's tired. He threw a lot more pitches than he's thrown in his whole entire career. But at the end of the day, boy, what a gutsy performance.
Dylan Lloyd didn't allow a hit in his appearance against OU on Saturday. The lefty facing the switch-hitting Jason Watt. Great speed at the plate. And he takes down an in and nearly hit him 1-0. Walk, a base hit in the 7th. Tying and go-ahead runs aboard for OU in the 8th. Breaking ball, chopped foul. And the count 1-1. The infield having to respect the bunt in this situation with a speedy walk at the plate.
Laura on the mound. Cutter's fastball. It's not overpowering, but he likes to use those secondary pitches. He'll throw the curveball, he'll throw a slider, he does have a changeup.
Fouled at the plate again. Just did get a piece of that breaking ball. It's 1-2. Walk struck out against Loy on Saturday. Fans coming to their feet again with 2 strikes. The 1-2. Swinging a liner, caught by Kearse. It's going to be a double play. Inning over. Dayton Taki hung out to dry, and Georgia Tech will head to the 9th with the lead. A rare base running miscue from Oklahoma, and Georgia Tech 3 outs away from Super Regionals. Huge double play that Dylan Loy got to end the 8th. And Georgia Tech clinging to a 7-6 lead as we start the 9th. And Drew Burris, a 2-run home run in this game, will get things started. It'll be Burris, Advincula, and Lackey. 3 first-team All-ACC performers. 2 potential top 10 picks due for Georgia Tech as they lead by a run. Swing and a miss by Burris. It's 0-1. Cleveland faced this same part of the lineup yesterday in his third inning of work and ran into some trouble against them.
Yeah, this is where he ran into his trouble. But he did get Burris to pop up. But Avicula got a base hit. He ended up hitting Lackey.
Burris pops it up foul and out of play.
Zuckerman ends up getting a base hit right back up the box that scored 2. And then it was a big Alex Hernandez home run. 2-run homer. This is where, if you're Georgia Tech, you see that scoreboard at 7-6, controlling your fate right now. Looking at it saying, okay, got the top of the lineup, got to try to see if we can get some insurance runs.
Here's the 0-2. Third inning, Drew Burris did this.
Ooh, elevated fastball, stays on it, on his backside. Absolutely crushed at 113 miles an hour.
Georgia Tech was the best two-strike hitting team in the country this year. A 1-2 and a chopper towards the middle. Nice play by Branch to get to it and throw out Burris for out number 1. A big first out.
The second baseman, number 2, Jared Advincula.
Looking ahead to the Oklahoma ninth. As they trail by a run, they will have the heart of their order. Camden Johnson, the third baseman, Dayton LaChance, Jackson Williams, the shortstop, 2, 3, and 4. Same spot in the order that Georgia Tech is in now. Johnson, LaChance, who has a 2-run homer today, and Willits, their cleanup hitter. The 1-0. Advincula bounces to short. Willits comes in to grab the short hop. 2 gone. Nice scoop there. Picked by Taki. 2 outs. And it'll be up to Vaughn Lackey here in the ninth. Lackey 0 for 4. Lackey's grounded into a double play, grounded to third, struck out and flied to left. Danny Hall has the sunglasses on. The Hall of Fame coach of Georgia Tech knows what it is like to have a powerhouse team get to Omaha in his first year at Georgia Tech. His Yellow Jackets went to the national championship finals against Oklahoma before they lost. That's the closest they've been to a national title in this modern era, and they have not been to Omaha in 20 years. Vaughn Lackey trying to add a little insurance. First pitch. It's 0-1. Swing and a pop-up on the infield. Branch, the second baseman, has it, and Cleveland stares down the heart of the Georgia Tech order. Oklahoma needs 1 to tie and 2 to advance. Supers on the line with Georgia Tech leading by a run as we head to the bottom of the ninth. And the new pitcher for Georgia Tech is their Friday starter, their ace, Tate McKee, making his first appearance in relief since June 2nd of 2024 as a freshman in the Athens Regional, nearly 2 years ago. And he will have to go through the heart of the Oklahoma lineup. It has been a generation since Georgia Tech fans have seen their club advance to a super regional. And now their best starter is going to have to try and go through the heart of Oklahoma's lineup to get them there with a one-run lead.
Well, this is it. For Georgia Tech, they're bringing out their Friday night starter, their big dog, to go out there and get the hardest outs in baseball, those final three.
Camden Johnson will lead off, and then Dayton LaChance will hit. And in the first inning, LaChance got the scoring start for OU with this two-run blast. He had the go-ahead grand slam yesterday. He is in the on-deck circle, the leading home run hitter for the Sooners. 7-6 Oklahoma, bottom of the ninth. First pitch from McKee. A strike. It's 0-1. Camden Johnson can really run. Third baseman Zuckerman playing in. Outside, 1-1. Two balls and a strike to Johnson.
Now, the last thing that you want to do if you're Tate McKee is walk anybody. Especially with LaChance on deck. You know that he has power to leave the yard.
We welcome those of you who are watching us on Squeeze Play. Camden Johnson fouls it off. It's 2-2. Oklahoma held a 3-0 lead. Georgia Tech stormed back. They led at 1 point, 7-3. But 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th have gotten Oklahoma within a run as we play the bottom of the 9th. And Georgia Tech has turned to their starting ace, Tate McKee, who's run the count full on the leadoff man for Oklahoma. And in the on-deck circle for OU, their leading home run hitter, Dayton LaChance. And Camden Johnson has great speed. The last thing they want to do is put him aboard. The payoff. Outside, ball 4, and the tying run is on with nobody out. And here comes LaChance. A late season power surge for the Quebec native. 14 home runs in his last 26 games, including a 2-run homer in the first today. He is the winning run. The first pitch, swinging a grounder, backhanded stop by Kearse, from his knees across, got him! What a play by Carson Kearse, 1 out.
Not only what a play, he's throwing this ball from his knees, from the grass, in the 5-6 hole. Wow.
LaChance out, 1 gone, but the tying run in scoring position for Jackson Willits now. Willits a pair of hits today. The junior shortstop waits, and he rolls it through the right side. It's a base hit. Rounding third is Johnson. He's coming home. His throw is not in time. OU ties it into the 9th. Jackson Willits delivers.
And the walk ends up hurting Georgia Tech. Big time hit by Jackson Willits. you could just see Camden Johnson never was going to stop. The speedy third baseman comes through, and we have a tie ball game.
Yesterday, Oklahoma came back from an 8-2 deficit to beat Georgia Tech to force a Game 7. Today, they trailed 7-3. They haven't evened it in the ninth, and they have the winning run aboard with one out. And they are circled up in that dugout. While Matt Taylor pays a visit to McKee. Trey Gamble is the scheduled hitter. And Reggie Willits, the associate head coach who runs the offense, with some instructions for his son Jackson at first and for Gamble. 7-7 game in the ninth. First pitch from McKee in the dirt. It's 1-0. Boy, it got quiet here all of a sudden.
This OU offense, they're relentless. They weren't going to give up. We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it here again today.
On the ground foul on the count 1-1. Dimitri Angelakos getting loose in the bullpen for Georgia Tech. Right now, though, I'm telling you, the play that Carson Kearse made.
Oh, boy.
That is looming large because otherwise, we're talking about a base hit ending this game. 1-1 in the air to center. Going back a step is Burris. He's got it for out number 2. Two outs for Brendan Brock.
The left fielder, number 10, Brendan.
Brendan Brock yesterday, a pair of home runs, including one that sparked an 8-run fourth inning that helped post Oklahoma to victory. Winning run at first, outfield very deep. The first pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Brock second on the team with a dozen homers. The transfer from Southwestern Illinois College, where he is their all-time home run leader. Zuckerman guarding the line at third. The 1-0. Down low, 2-0. He needs a new baseball. 7-7, bottom of the ninth. Oklahoma trying to stun Georgia Tech and make it to supers. The 2-0. Into right field, that's a base hit. Willits around second, he's gonna head for third, and the winning run is 90 feet away. Kearse trying to throw back behind the runner, but it was offline. And now a base hit would win it for OU.
The right fielder, number 17.
Oh, Brendan Brock, really nice swing. Gets the cutter, stays on it, and drives it the opposite way. Jackson Willett at first. As soon as he hit it, he's looking to go first to third. There's a lot of reasons why you like that play. One, now if you're Lackey, you got to keep that ball in front of you. Pass ball will end this game. Wild pitch will end this game. So you got to do everything you can to not give up the extra 90.
Deshaun Harris with 3 hits today takes a strike. It's 0-1. You could need a chainsaw to cut the tension in this place right now. It is so thick. 7-7, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Winning run at third for OU. Fouled away in the count 0-2 to Harris. Everyone on their feet, hoping McKee can force extras. Harris trying to end it. The pitch, swing and a miss, inning over. Oklahoma ties the game, but they leave the winning run 90 feet away.
And this is how it was. Camden Johnson walks. Big time hit by Jackson Willits to score Camden Johnson for second. And we're going to extras.
Closing in on Omaha, and we have extra innings in Atlanta. 7-7 as we head to the top of the 10th. Jackson Cleveland back to work for OU against Ryan Zuckerman, leading home run hitter for Georgia Tech. First pitch a strike at 0-1.
How about the job for Jackson Cleveland, what he's been able to do since he's been in this ball game? Has not given up a hit to any Georgia Tech hitter today.
Swing and a miss, it's 0-2. Remember, his line did not look great yesterday, but he got a huge double play in the first inning to get out of a jam. And really helped to settle the game down. Even though he gave up a 5 spot, it calmed things down. They had a big deficit before Oklahoma came back to win. And he makes quick work of Zuckerman to start the 10th, 1 out.
Clearly, I mean, this is his bread and butter. It's a huge breaking ball. Actually, no, that's the splitter that he's starting to throw a little bit more now. It's got a lot of action like that breaker as it's coming down.
I mean, it just absolutely kills the spin on it. Alex Hernandez, 4 home runs in this regional. 13 runs driven in the first 3 games. Tried to take a swing, he went around, and now you're starting to see a little over-anxiousness from Georgia Tech hitters. Something we really haven't seen this season.
Now, Alex Hernandez did face Cleveland in yesterday's ball game and hit a 2-run homer. I guarantee that Cleveland realizes that, not going to give him a pitch that he can handle. Right now, that split finger has been working this whole entire game.
The 1-1. Popped up. First baseman Taki into foul ground, 2 outs. Bottom third of the order due for OU in the bottom of the 10th. So excuse me, 8, 9, and 1 due. Taki branching to the top of the order with walk for OU. Jackson Cleveland continues after throwing 66 pitches yesterday. The senior has been outstanding today. Pitch to Kent Schmidt. Breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. First baseman singled and scored in the 6th. Little jam shot out into shallow left. Oh, and what a running grab by Jackson Willits to end the inning. Great defense from OU again as we head to the bottom of the 10th, tied at 7.
Boy, he had to go a long way to make this play. Jackson Willits making a great play, and all of a sudden, Oklahoma has a chance for a walk-off.
Sooners have rallied from a 7-3 deficit in the last 3 innings to tie Georgia Tech, the number 2 overall seed, who blew an 8-2 lead to Oklahoma yesterday, and now find themselves needing a 0 from Tate McKee, their ace, as the right-hander will face Dayton Taki. Taki, Kyle Branch, Jason Walk, 8-9-1 due for OU. First pitch to Taki. Takes a strike, 0-1. On Saturday, Dayton Taki did this.
And it was Tate McKee who was pitching. And he drove a ball the opposite way for a home run.
The 0-1. Way inside. Georgia Tech was 2-0 in a regional for the first time since 2010. They are trying to win their first regional since 2006. Taki behind the count, 1-2. They have had the best offense in the country all season long. Oklahoma's pitching has done enough to keep them in check, and the offense has come alive for a team that was 13th in runs scored in the SEC this year. Taki takes in the dirt, 2-2. Dayton Taki, an RBI base hit in the 8th inning. It pulled Oklahoma within a run. The 2-2. The count goes full. Even though we are in Atlanta, Oklahoma is the home team. There's Taki's mom. She has been living and dying on every pitch. Taki in the air to center. Burris going back. That ball is gone! It's gone! Dayton Taki sends Oklahoma to Super Regionals! Heartbreak again for Georgia Tech, and joy for Oklahoma as they've stunned the number 2 team in the tournament. Oklahoma is going to Kansas to take on their former conference rivals. And look at Dayton Taki's mom. She has been here on every pitch, and she couldn't be more excited. A 454-foot homer to end regionals. What a shot!
A huge shot by Taki, and he knew it when he hit it. It was 109 miles an hour, and pure chaos ensues. The fight by this Oklahoma Sooners team, never giving up, staying with it. They did it yesterday. They did it here again today.
8, 7, and 10 innings. Oklahoma is on their way to Super Regionals, and there's Mom. And the tears of joy are flowing with the Oklahoma parents. They've done it. They've stunned the number 2 team in the tournament. Incredible. Dayton Taki with the walk-off home run. And look at the Oklahoma bench. And the hero is Dayton Taki, a walk-off home run.
Unbelievable, man. He's unbelievable.
Dayton, Mike Farron, and Gabby Sanchez, congratulations.
Thank you.
Your thoughts?
Man, it's unbelievable. I mean, our pitchers kept us through it. You know, we've been doubted all week, talking about how good these guys are. I mean, yeah, we're a good team, but everybody underestimated the Sooners. And we took a swing at the Giant last night, and they hit us back pretty hard today, but we just stayed through it with each other all game, and we started believing in each other. And, I mean, I got the opportunity to do what I did.
You had back-to-back days against this Georgia Tech team where they jumped out to a lead, and you guys never gave up. What does that show about your guys' resiliency?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday got a big lead on us, and I mean, we just keep fighting. I mean, we don't ever want to get up, and we trust each other, and you know, I mean, we just believe in each other and we love each other. So we're gonna finish the game. We're gonna play all 27 outs for each other.
450 feet.
Man, that's a shot.
454. Like, where's that rank in terms of, I mean, over the batter's eye, dude. Like,
yeah.
Where does that one rank for you in terms of distance?
Man, that might be the farthest one I've ever hit. You know, I got all of it. I knew it was gone, and then I got to celebrate with my teammates, and I'm just thankful to be put in this place and at this time.
Hey, your mom has been here every game cheering for you. She's got the Taki gear on. She was so excited. She knew this could be it.
Yeah.
What has it meant to have her support? I mean, we've got her on the screen right now. The tears of joy are welling up in her eyes.
I can't thank her enough for all the support, man. And I didn't know she was coming. She surprised me down here, and you know, it just made me so happy. And I can't wait to hug her after the game.
Well, you go do that. Hug your teammates, hug your mom. You're going to Lawrence, Kansas for Super Regionals. Dayton, congratulations to you and the Sooners.
Thank you, fellas. Boomer.
Dayton Taki, the hero in the 10th inning tonight. Oklahoma is heading to Super Regionals to take on former conference rival Kansas. Unbelievable. And as we go through the elimination must-win games for teams today, we are now heading to Supers without the number 1 and the number 2 overall seed. Incredible.
This was just about resiliency from OU, never giving up and believing in one another. Down yesterday big, coming back to win. Down today, 8-3, and being able to do what they did and continue to just press this Georgia Tech team and coming out victorious.
8-7, Oklahoma walks it off on this shot from Dayton Taki, and the Sooners are heading to Supers to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. Oklahoma wins, and Super Regionals begin next weekend as Dayton Taki's mom and the tears of joy. That'll do it for us from Atlanta. Thank you to our incredible crew for all their hard work over the last 5 days here in Atlanta. For Gabby Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. Thank you for joining us for coverage of the NCAA Baseball Regionals. We'll send things to the studio with Matt Schick and Squeeze Play next. The Sooners are going to Lawrence.